don't have it pulled up.
Hello, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to Critically Casual. Today, for once in every blue moon, I get like one a year where I get to do this. I am your host, Dorkydev, and today we are joined by an all-star cast. He is the man who talks to fish, the one, the only, Srekcuf5.
Hi, welcome to my
I was really hoping you'd go like, my man, you know?
My man.
There you go.
The last son of Mars. The man who dwells in caves. Caver J. No words? What about the audio side?
He has like one line of dialogue in the entire
I know.
movie.
I'm more just saying just like a
trying to be conservative.
Worded intro so that, they actually, on the audio side know.
There are no right answers here, everybody. Prepare to be yelled at.
Wilson, call me Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
There's my word.
Okay, cool. OG Captain Reed might make it. I don't know what's going on there. Anyways, he is part man, part machine. It's Eclectic for the first time on Critically Casual.
Hello.
And the fastest man alive, one of our special guests, the Baron J 67.
Am I live action airbending or sprinting through the Speed Force? I don't know.
I honestly, from my angle, looks like some new interpretive dance. I'm not gonna lie. It's like flow like water. This is going through my head right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna knock something over. Watch.
That's not too far off.
Did you see my camera?
You see it, yeah. In mid-stroke, it's like, oh, Baron's offline. Oh God, what happened? He actually started running.
Oh wait, hold up. Why is that frozen now?
No, there's never any.
Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second.
His.
Give me a second.
Yeah,
I'm getting it.
I thought he was just power posing.
I actually thought. Oh my god!
His superior.
Steven, riff like you do when this.
What's funny
happens.
is that he had it.
So yeah, normally around this part of the show, this is where we say like our last word, start talking about what's going on this week and other things like that. So does anybody have like anything interesting that they want to say that's not Justice League related before we start talking about, like video or the movies or anything like that? Video games.
Yeah, I just reviewed a game called Exmius Seize the Front Line. It's a real-time strategy game crossed over with a first-person shooter. And the way I would compare it, imagine Command and Conquer, Age of Empire style RTS. Going out, start off with a base, going out gathering resources, and then you get to build your soldiers up and whatnot, alongside some pretty decent shooter mechanics. The online aspect is pretty fun. It can be brutal. If you're like you winning really depends on how good your commander is, because I don't care if you're Rambo, you can only capture so many points by yourself.
What's the name of this game?
It's called Eximius Seize the Front Line. I'm probably butchering the name, and that's why I didn't do a video review of it, because I didn't want to butcher the name for 15 minutes. But I highly recommend it, not only because they offered me a free code, but seriously, like I played.
Help.
Right. I actually, right. I still play it. Like I'll still boot it up. Not very many games I review. I end up going back to. I actively play this game. So
Eximius.
Nice.
Oh, interesting. Oh, it's brand new too.
Yeah, it came out like last week.
The 16th.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's definitely Ammo Box Studios. They did good work. They really did. And they're active on Twitter too. So,
And you're like, so you do reviews regularly on your social medias and like Facebooks and YouTubes and.
so I'm actually the communications director for level1gaming.com.
Okay.
I think we've been around for about 8 months now, pushing 9 months. And we've kind of hit the ground running. And we shout out to those guys. Much love, Fame, Dallas, Floor Hugger, and company. Trevor, we're gonna get you on the team, bro. It's pretty cool. We actually have 5 live shows a week, and 2 recorded ones that go up weekly. Yeah, a lot of content.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah. I usually just play fetch. They're like, hey, there's this cool game that just came out. I wonder if we had a communications guy to go reach out to him. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm just a good boy, I guess.
All right, I think I fixed it.
Think you fixed it?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I think we've just established that Baron's.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's pretty good.
I need
I
a
love
drink
it.
now.
Commitment
man.
to
That's the fucking
a bit.
best.
So originally what the plan was when Liz was going to be a part of this, she was and I were going to swap. But I bought the costume, so might as well fucking use it.
Absolutely. That's
So-
amazing. I love it.
I'll be right back.
Just wait until I tear my shirt off later on in the show.
Right?
No.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
Mr. Man who's adjusting his blouse.
I'm making sure this doesn't fall down when we get TOS.
Yeah.
All
well, guys,
right.
it's been fun. You know, our HQ has had a lot of great times, but
Not how I want us to go out.
It'd be legendary.
It
Yeah.
would. Well, at least I
live
would.
stream fails perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
You
No,
can
this
pull a
was,
Toys R Us.
I took a screenshot of myself earlier, like just sitting there, so that entire bit would work. So
Man.
yeah, so like
Well
hold on, let me pull
played.
up like that, so you can see.
I feel so finessed.
I was sitting here, I was like, something's not right because I was like, I know how you do these. It's through Discord and the camera's the same. So there's no way you have a different camera for the video. And I was like, okay, what you doing here?
The large ball. He's like, I'm not ready for the night.
Yeah.
He said,
I was
I
working
need
on
a
a
night
bit.
glass, not a nightcap.
Oh, you know what sucks? I accidentally did spoiler first instead of the right one, so I can do a quick change to this.
That's good. I mean, either way, like essentially while you were changing, I helped establish that
I was
Baron here is
listening, don't
probably
worry.
the most qualified to review movies here. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No. I love movies though.
There's an
Oh,
easy fix to
man.
this.
You even-
and
You even looked like the Flash from this movie for just a second with that face.
Oh, yeah.
sorry, I'm doing a quick workaround to my mistake.
So when can we
earlier.
like actually talk about this movie?
Right in
Yeah,
like 2
this is a
seconds.
slow intro.
Listen, the bit took a little bit longer than I planned.
Kind of reminds me of the pacing of the movie.
You're not entirely wrong.
I don't think I'm wrong at all. Like
We'll get there. We're not there yet.
I
Jay.
want.
And we're there. Hello.
Oh,
We're talking
Lord
about
have
Zack
mercy.
Snyder's Justice League, as you would expect, since that's what everyone's talking about this week. So
We could have done a DC intro that psych Avengers Endgame. Like we
we already reviewed that.
Missed. I know we have, but it's like missed opportunity.
That would be great.
That would have been good.
Everybody
though, I
on
will
Twitch
admit.
shirts. Like,
All right. So real quick, this movie was released March 18th,
No, it's okay.
2021, with a budget. If I can see a budget, let's see if they actually posted the budget to this. They did not. That's unfortunate.
Too
I really
much.
wish
That's honestly.
it was like 400,000 on
I don't
top of the
think that's an
original Justice
oversight.
League. Hold on, let me pull up the original Justice League budget, and we can just go this
Double
plus.
that.
Double.
More
Yeah.
than that, yeah.
Double.
Original Justice League's budget was 300 million, so more than that.
Oh my god! For the original, really?
Yeah.
They spent billion on this movie easily.
Yeah.
This is the
Before we get
non-spoiler
to-
part of this.
Before we get too far into this, I want to make my one major complaint clear.
Okay.
Format of this fucking film.
Oh God, okay.
It's why I
God.
made the graphic the way it looks. Because you see how the whole screen, how there's more room to be displayed?
Well, the thing is, it's using the aspect ratio of the filming. So, yeah, that's why it's like that. Also, real quick, just so you guys can appreciate this real quick, it's got like all of it.
I don't want
the
to see
skirt.
this.
It's
Oh
got
my
the skirt.
God.
Nice, knee pads and everything.
Yeah, it's got it all.
dude.
So, This-
I want to make jokes, but I don't want to be canceled.
Yeah. Yeah.
listen, I commit to a bit. Yeah, so this
I ain't afraid. I'll make the joke. I wasn't planning on drinking before that.
Hey, listen, this is a hard production. Drinking is almost needed. So
Required, expected.
yeah, speaking of aspect ratio, let's talk about cinematography. Man, is this a Zack Snyder film?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Uh,
I could agree.
too much slow mo.
Oh, there's so much slow-mo. So much.
Yeah.
There's so much slow-mo. And then, like, poor CGI stand-ins of the people as they're being slow-moed. Like, what?
Or even like the backgrounds themselves. Anytime there was a background that was like kind of like ancient or even kind of like futuristic or sci-fi fantasy, it just looked so separated from the person itself. Like it
Right.
was just
And
Not
can we just...
PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah. And can just... Maybe it's just me, because I am partially colorblind, but did the palette of the entire movie seem to blend to anybody else, or was that just me?
It's a gray blue palette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Snyder's gonna go-to comic book palette. It's why Man of Steel looked really dull. It's why Batman v
Man of
Superman
Steel,
looks really dull.
Man v Superman v Batman did look dull. I didn't think Man of Steel looked that dull. And then we
There.
have this.
It's definitely there.
It's definitely there,
Yeah.
but
I'd say that's because it was daytime for 90% of the movie.
true. True. Man's got a point.
I will say,
he
Light
got
bulb,
lucky.
it all makes sense now.
He
It
got
all makes sense
natural
now.
lighting.
oh God, yeah, no. And also, this movie is
I think
like
the darkest bit was slight overcast. Now that I think about it,
A shadow from the buildings when they were fighting.
This like this
hell,
movie,
even space seemed brighter than what we got in this movie.
True. This entire movie also, like, because of it, I feel like it just loses so much to it. Like, it's just because of Snyder's slow-mo and like music video-esque, because like I talked about it last week when me and Steven reviewed Watchmen.
Ooh.
Man, is there like Snyder likes to do the music videos.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
That was the start, was music videos.
Oh,
Like an hour and a
Yeah.
half of this movie is just music videos. Like him doing the
Yeah.
music, just like in his slow-mo or like things going on. Like Lois
there's
walking.
music.
Mhm.
I'm a
Like-
sucker for wide shots. So maybe that's why I actually liked it, because all of the music video moments are big wide shot like moments. And look, I almost started talking about
All
stuff.
good.
But and it just that I actually liked. I mean, I was that kid who would just watch YouTube music videos all day,
Oh,
like
yeah.
looking for the coolest ones.
I'm
So
so like
that-
kid.
Yeah.
It's just, it's very much a Snyder thing to do, though. Like,
It's very
But-
true.
Like one scene that sticks out for me, honestly, like is that freaking football scene. How the whole sequence is in slow motion, and like it looks pretty darn good. But it's like, why does this whole sequence need to be in slow motion to tell the story that's happening?
Yeah.
You could probably have either trimmed out some of the sequence or maybe like put it up to normal speed and it'd still get the same story across that they were trying to get.
I feel like you wouldn't have
could've
lost
trimmed out.
much. I feel like you wouldn't have lost any effect. In fact, probably gained, especially if the football scene was in like normal speed.
Mhm.
But you could see the majesticness that is men smacking into each other at high speeds. and then being
like, we haven't seen that.
replaced as they levitate a little
Yeah,
bit
we
higher.
haven't seen it. Never. This is
Yeah.
a totally new concept.
Longest Yard, Gotham.
If that isn't accurate for that scene. I will say though, like
if you don't tweet that, I'm gonna. I need you to be like, I'll give you 5 minutes because my Twitter's not. Or I'll tweet it and tag you in it because that was great.
as I like
Tag me.
a like normal kind of like note on this though, I do like this more than the original cut.
Yeah. No, that's a given.
Go ahead.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
But that's the big question. And I don't know if I'm jumping ahead on this. Do we like this that much more
Well,
because the comparison,
Right?
or
Like-
does it stand alone?
if this was
Like
a
this-
standalone, would we have liked it as much as we did? Right. That's the thing.
okay,
It's hard.
I-
It's hard.
I'm gonna answer for me, yes, because it made me care to look forward.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
I can get more into that for me in spoilers, but
Yeah.
like the best way to put it without spoiling is that I don't like the foundation to this universe for me is broken from the get-go. If you're going like, because he had the 5-movie plan, the foundation of it with the first one, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and then here, like for me personally, it's fundamentally, since Man of Steel, broken. Because Man of Steel doesn't make a Superman movie, it makes a what if story. And I'm okay, like, I can be okay with a what if story. But if you're trying to make a universe around it that, like, is going to be your mainline universe, that doesn't work. Because fundamentally, your star hero is broken.
A bit of backstory, Baron, is Dev really hates Superman because of
I
one
don't
main
like
scene.
Man of Steel. It's not one main steel or one main scene.
Keep
But
trying.
it's the scene that I use as the prime example. There are other versions of this throughout the movie, but the prime example of why Man of Steel is a bad Superman movie is because of the
That's
scene.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, is because of the scene with the oil tanker, where Superman jumps over the oil tanker instead of trying to stop it, and it destroys a building behind him. Superman wouldn't do that.
Superman would have took the hit.
Or he would have
Yeah.
tried to stop it, or something, anything in that
Yeah.
scenario, instead
Like
of
the
do his little
comic book
levitate
version.
over. And like in a one-off story, sure, I could excuse it, but this is a main universe. Mind you, with that being said, I'm willing to see this universe through because it's what we got. But I don't like extremely like the universe we got. There's a lot of things that I would personally change to tell better stories in it. Because like fundamentally from that and Man BVS where Batman kills but he's pissed off at Superman for killing doesn't make sense.
Okay, are we? Maybe this is just the outright injustice universe, and it's building up to that.
This also needs to be discussed more in our spoiler scene because you guys are killing me right now.
We will. Trust me, I'm tiptoeing. My problem with that is in Injustice, Superman was still Superman before the first Injustice game.
True.
Like, he still had hero moments and stuff like that. Our Superman, the best hero moments he get is a quick cut of him saving people. That, like, from BVS. After he murked a guy by pushing him through 6 goddamn walls. That's how we are introduced to Superman in BVS. That is the person that is one of the main plot points in the Snyder Cut. That's who we want to bring back. That's who we need for this. And like, technically, yeah, I guess we can need a like merciless killing machine, but do we need him back?
T-10,000.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. I talk way too much. Please.
No, you're fine to talk.
I was gonna take us back a little bit, because going back to your question on if we like this or not, like, I think this story compared to the Joss Whedon version is infinitely better. Like, it's a much more cohesive A to B storyline. All the plot pieces make sense, and even some of them that feel extremely dragged out, like, I don't know, maybe getting a cup of coffee and why you need to see it 3 times before it's important. That kind of stuff could be a little bit chopped down and things like that. But because of the story that they established and the patterns that they set up, it makes a much better, much more cohesive story. But that being said, it's still, to me, not a good movie.
It's like, an art piece.
It's more of an art piece, because it does do the nice cinematography. I think the music and the audio, the things work perfectly fine. But then once you get down to like the story progression and the character motivations and just like how much expositional dialogue there is in this film, like, you kind of lose me.
Oh my gosh. And like, there's like, really, quite honestly, motivations and even mentalities for certain characters differ so greatly from the Whedon version, which, you know, if they differed in the correct way, to me, would have been an improvement. But it somehow got worse for one character in particular.
You can say who, but
yeah, you can say
Batman.
Yeah,
yeah,
I can agree with that.
Batman. Like,
I wasn't ready. I'm so ready to trash him.
When it comes time to talk about this in spoilers, it's like I would just like to start that off and then feel free to trash him. But like, I just have one statement about Batman, really, honestly, in this movie.
Fair.
I mean, it's gonna hurt me to my soul to say it.
Well, and that's the problem. Like, the other thing too about this is like, I feel like in a different universe, this entire cast kills it as their roles, but because of the writing,
agreed. Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
Like, and understand, like, I feel like we can all agree that like we are not like in the course of us absolutely picking this movie to shreds, we are not trashing any of these actors or actresses. But yeah, this is just unfortunate.
Also, it just like, this movie also continues the, even if this is the one that was supposed to happen, the movies that come out after this that were planned, like Aquaman, like, fundamentally break if you compare the two. Like, this was the original version that like the people who did Aquaman said, like, no, our version of Aquaman's kind of based off what happened in the Snyder Cut. And like, even then, it doesn't work. Like, your universe is, mind you, it's very much like the comic books where like someone wrote something and they're like, yeah, we're kind of related to that events, but like certain things don't quite line up.
Well, and they're related by like, okay, so the Aquaman movie and Snyder Cut have one link in this entire movie, like one actual direct link that the Whedon cut didn't have.
And it breaks the Aquaman movie if you use it.
A little bit, yeah.
Which I think, again, continues my problem of, if you have a universe, make it work. At least when Marvel retcons things.
Yeah, like, prequels still counts towards the canon that's already established for the future. So you can consider this a prequel, just a well thought out prequel.
I think one of the biggest issues with this, and I've argued with people that they were really, and it's clear as day, they were working really hard to play catch up. Like, that's
Yeah.
That's what it, instead of playing the long game, they basically tried to work backwards. Like, hey, let's build up to the first major clash. But no, let's start with a major clash and then we'll break it apart and give stories after. So then you'll get to know everybody in detail. And this cut of the movie makes more sense for that lane than the original than what we saw in theaters.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like I love the artsy stuff. Like I absolutely love it. So for me, that's what I enjoyed a lot about this movie. And I want to take a step back. Like, would I have enjoyed this movie without knowing who everybody was? And not knowing any of their story, like just as a person going to the movies. Kinda, because the music carries you. The music and the imagery, like it does a good job of like boating you along.
The only music that doesn't carry you is a
Okay, come on,
Yeah,
man.
that
That's
was
still
awkward.
Fucking,
Yeah.
That was awkward.
Something.
Serial killer level.
At least-
Like
okay. Oh, we'll get into that.
I'm glad someone. I'm pretty sure a lot of people felt that same way about that scene.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can just tell the sudden relief that washed over Jim's face right there. It's like, man, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks
Oh,
that.
I will dig into that. That scene in particular, I'm gonna dig into. Don't worry. There's a lot of salt dev coming soon.
Ooh.
But another thing too, kind of funny that he brought it up, Baron, is because they, like how they wanted to catch up with the character development and their backstories later on. I actually wrote down that one of my last notes on my second viewing, mainly because of a scene that happens towards the end of the movie. I was like, why do these people kind of remind me of Scarlet Witch's story? Like Batman is Tony, Cyborg is Scarlet Witch. And in this movie, this is like Cyborg's film. He's the one who has the most character development through the whole thing. So I was like, and then Darkseid is Thanos, obviously. So whatever.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Also, this movie makes Darkseid a bitch.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They make it so.
Oh.
Also, they make it so that you don't need Superman to beat him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not the only one on this. Which just again, when we get into it, I'm getting into it on that as well.
Mhm.
Another one of those things I'm tearing apart.
I'm just gonna be just straight up honest with you. Like I already wasn't really enjoying the movie up until that moment, and we all know that moment. And I'm just like, really? Like I had to take a break, man. Like I couldn't get through this in one sitting. I'm just gonna be honest.
I don't blame you. I mean, this,
It had nothing to do with the length of the movie either. I'm just like, what?
I almost didn't believe it was him.
Yeah,
Right.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Like 100 without like I
Like,
know we're
this
gonna
is-
get to it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
It took me a minute to register. Like
this is the dude.
yeah, and
Daddy, right?
yeah, like has his own planet and takes over other planet. Like I just like they just made 2 movies after him,
Mhm.
2 animated movies after
Yeah.
him. Like in the
which,
last like
again,
year and a half.
By the way.
I did tear
Yeah.
apart one of them. Because I didn't like Apocalypse War because it just like there's a lot of things in there I didn't like.
That's
But I digress
watch
on
it.
that one.
I will say, I feel like the Flash, not just because I'm hip. I feel like in the comic universe, he gets the love, but I don't think people truly understand this single person or couple speedsters
Mhm.
bear the burden of multiple universes in their head.
Yes.
Like it's the craziest thing that I don't feel like enough people acknowledge. Like Heroes, like I'm jumping Heroes in Crisis. That's my favorite like comic run. And because I personally think human stories of these superhuman people make it super entertaining. Like I
Yes.
think that's the absolute best part. That's how you make a good Superman. Like you,
Yes.
because him just going around
Yes.
kicking ass like that. Dud Superman. Like
Well, make a Superman story where it's about a man who just so happens to have powers. He's just a man from Kansas. That is
Yep.
who he's supposed to be.
I felt like a Superman like Turner and Hooch style movie would do way better.
Oh yeah.
like, like it just like really, I'll take the check, please. But I don't know. I just man, yeah.
No, I fully agree. And it's like the poster we had for this, Steven used the background of Justice League Unlimited,
Mhm.
which is definitively some of the best Justice League you can get. Not to say that like Justice League the series is bad by any means, but like it sets up Unlimited, and Unlimited takes what Justice League does and just raises that dial to 11 of just badass stories you can tell.
Like that is also how you build a universe, just for those that would be taking notes.
I mean, that universe was Batman. Then they did a Batman Superman crossover which launched the Superman show. Static had crossovers with the Justice League. Batman Beyond was made, and then we got Justice League Unlimited, which had things from all of those shows show up in it,
including Batman Beyond at one point.
And Static. Like Old Man Static showed up, and I'm like, yes, Old Man Virgil, let's go, let's kick some ass. But it's just like this universe, like I really do agree with they tried to go backwards, but the problem with that is like we were getting introduced to characters and then getting their stories, which just like doesn't work because like we don't have time to understand why they are.
I feel like this approach to me seemed to draw a lot of assumptions that people going to the movies knew who these people were already.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was like, that's their basis for that.
But they also still gave
to the other guys, MCU, yeah, everybody knew who Iron Man was, yet they bothered to give him, this is his arc, and Thor, and all these guys.
Well, the thing is, the Avengers was kind of B tier before, because like Marvel had sold their A-listers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, which would have been like what you would have in a regular world at the time, would have been what you used as your foundation to create a MCU. But they had to use their B-listers and raise them up. And now they're A-listers because like they give them good stories. Like the reason why Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor are household names is because the MCU took what the source material had, adapted it to the screen to fit a movie, and essentially brought the heart of those characters to the movie. That's my big thing about Captain America. You could trade Chris Evans' Captain America, throw him straight in the comics, or vice versa, and it would work because they are like
I don't know
each other.
I mean, obviously, and of course, and Stan Lee was like very proud of like all of that. But I think one of the very cool things just about that, and we really need to get back on topic of this movie, otherwise we're going to keep talking about Marvel. But Stan Lee straight up said it's like Robert Downey Jr. is who I imagined when I wrote Tony. So it's like that's like one of the highest praises you could give. Yeah. Like from someone who's basically the father of all of it, and
like he like because Robert wasn't in the main light when he made him, but like the idea of who Robert Downey Jr. is, essentially he had an Iron Man story. He dealt with like addiction and stuff like that, and came back and did the role. And like I would love to see these people in this movie be like that, have the heart of their characters. The closest we get, in my opinion, who are like almost carbon copies of each other from the comics is Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is as like pretty damn close to the comic being like she's a warrior, she's a badass, she does badass shit. And then maybe Barry, but like
I was gonna say,
but he's not really super smart in this one. So he's just quirky.
Yeah,
they dumbed him down big time.
Yeah, that's where my like thing comes from. Like he's like everyone else does not feel like their comic book counterpart to me.
And I think that might have been acting because everything he does is smart.
Directing choice.
Because let's be honest, everything he does, even in reference to the original version, like you don't build that type of outfit. You don't build that costume. You don't build that just
Mhm.
off a whim. But
Yeah.
the way he talks and the way he acts and the way, you know, the thoughts, the way it's portrayed, you would think he accidentally came up with that whole outfit.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
or somebody
Well, it's
gave
like-
it to him.
Okay, and God, there's again
getting into the movie?
another scene in the extended. We were inching ever closer because there's a scene
worry, we'll get there.
in this cut that I also want to bring up, but we haven't made the transition yet.
We're working there. Don't worry.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah, are we? We're just passing glacial drift speed right about now.
Hey, shut up.
Oh,
well,
if they
and,
go
like-
faster, if they go slower than glacial drift speed, they'll blow up.
Like,
It's like you can't move it any faster, Jim.
like the other thing too, I gotta say
Crystals aren't going to hold.
is at least with this movie, the climax makes more sense compared to the original cut. And I think that's like my big thing about this is like, I don't see you really enjoying this movie or at wanting to watch this movie if you didn't see the other cut.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This movie's gonna make no goddamn sense to you if you don't watch the other one first.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think, at least for me, I was kind of counting on that not being the case. Like, and yet here I am agreeing with what you just said.
Did you not see the other cut?
Yes, no, I
Okay,
did.
cool.
Which again, this is why I want to like argue this point you just made, but I can't do it.
Well, the thing is,
Like,
this movie wouldn't
It
have been
bugs me that I can't do it.
This movie, if this was released to theaters, would not have been this long. That's the like my big critique of it. Like it would not, if this would have gone to
Not
theaters,
without an intermission.
there would there would have been a lot of this stuff still would have been cut. Like
Mhm.
the stuff that's like repeated plot points and stuff like that would have been cut, or certain scenes would have been trimmed down,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So it would have been like extremely shorter. Probably, I'd give it at least an hour and a half shorter.
Oh, definitely.
I would hope
Easily.
so.
Because like they would have cut down on some of the music video moments, so
Like
they wouldn't
at the
as
very
long, stuff
least,
like that.
they would have made it under 3.5 hours. That at the very least.
Ooh, I would have like, we gotta play like what scene would make it, what scene wouldn't. We gotta do
We
that.
could do that in spoilers, absolutely.
Yeah. My thing with that is I don't see it. I don't.
Spoiler cut. Spoiler cut. Release the spoiler cut.
All right, then before we get there, we have to do
Our
the
ratings.
thing. Our ratings.
But I have one question before.
Yes.
Is anyone else bugged by how in this movie an attack isn't portrayed as powerful until there's like a sonic boom around it?
Ooh.
You know, I didn't
like
notice that.
like an
until you
anime.
mentioned it now, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
They made
Like-
it an anime.
Yeah, like
Holy
every attack doesn't like look powerful until they add like a boom, boom. But then it's like,
Almighty push.
yeah, exactly.
You're not wrong.
Okay, wait. What,
All right, so
did
ratings.
it feel like a play?
It felt like a play.
Yes, I can
Oh,
agree
like,
to that.
I can agree to that too.
I watch a lot of plays.
You
It
know,
felt like prose.
with certain scenes and certain actors. Yeah, I could imagine seeing
Yeah.
that on stage.
All right then.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go in reverse order of folks to get it. So for those who are new to the show, the rating system works like this: we give out points or half points, depending. No quarters, no 3.3s, none of that. So with that, for the
We don't
rating,
math real well.
yeah, pretty much. Baron, you're up first. Out of 10 popcorns, how many do you give this? As
7 popcorns.
7
Seven?
popcorns.
Wow.
7 out of 10. All right.
Jim, how many popcorns?
I say like 6.5.
Jay, how many popcorns?
I gotta go with an even 6, I think.
Steven, how many popcorns?
Throw me in at a
This'll be-
6.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh no, that's not going to be the super low number. Here it comes.
Well, it's not going to be super low. I might shock you.
Rip it.
I would like to rip into this more, but because I've seen the other one, I don't know if I can because it's just a more coherent story.
Yeah. That's
So
fair.
I'm
You're
giving
honest.
it. I'm going to be the lowest score. I already know this because you've all given me your scores. But I'm giving it just a. It's higher than what I gave the Justice League. I know that. It's just better. But I'm giving it just like a 5 overall.
Okay.
Reasons being, there are other movies in this universe that I would rather watch, but there are ones that I would rather watch this over.
Yeah.
So that's how I would put it.
Yeah, that's
Which
that's
means
fair.
me
I
and
think we all gave very fair ratings for that.
So for me and Steven's score as like the normal score that we would get, that would be a
Traditional
5.5. But let me find our average real quick. Where's my calculator? So that was
Good. We don't math for a while.
7 plus a 6.5 plus a 6 plus 6 plus 5
5.7 something.
divided by that's 5.
Damn it, I'm an outlier.
Steven, we round up, right?
Yeah, we round up.
Man, because this is 6.1.
Well, then you don't
So-
round up unless it's over 5. So it's like
No.
or 5 or over, right? So it's
Well, we
We
round up
usually
to
just
halves.
round up.
We round to
Really?
halves. Yeah. So that
Yeah.
puts
no,
it at a
don't
6.5
do that. No,
overall.
okay, 6.5. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's fine. I think that's.
Yay! I'm the.
I was about to say, hang on a
The
minute. I
average.
don't think a group rating needs to be 7. Let's just be clear.
Oh no, I would not have given that a 7. We round up by half points. So
Yeah, that's
overall,
fair.
as a group, we're giving it a 6.5. So the next thing we need to do real quick, and Steven's dreading this part, we need to put this onto the DC list of movies that we have rated. This is me and Steven's list, but now there are 3 more people who will help decide where this movie goes onto the list. So, the list as it stands, I'm going to go in reverse order. So from 9 to 1, because there's been 9 other films. So, number 9, Suicide Squad. Number 8, Justice League. Number 7, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. It is the ultimate cut that we rated for this. So that is that. Keep that in mind. Number 6, Wonder Woman 1984. Number 5, Aquaman. Number 4, Man of Steel. Number 3, Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. Number 2, Wonder Woman. And number 1, Shazam. So, with that being the list, we'll go in reverse order again.
And just
Baron.
raise your hand when you think it should go in there.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, we can do that. I guess we can we're going to have to vote on it, yay or nays, like what we would put it above. But initial thoughts, I want to see where people would place it on this list. Baron.
I might need to hear the list again, honestly.
Reverse order, Suicide Squad 9, Justice League 8, BVS Ultimate Cut 7, Wonder Woman 84, 6, Aquaman 5, Man of Steel 4, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn number 3, Wonder Woman 2, Shazam 1.
Aquaman, you said was 5.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
Baron, where would you put this on the list if you got to decide?
Oh man, I would put it. I'd put it above Aquaman.
Jim.
So at 5th.
I agree. That's where I was gonna.
Yeah.
I was gonna put it right above Aquaman.
I'd put
Jay?
it above Aquaman.
Yeah.
I have a really pointless bias for this, and I'm actually putting it 1 slot below Aquaman because I had more fun watching that movie, and that's literally my whole reason.
Steven?
That's fair.
Oh no. I'm with
Do it.
Jay.
Yeah,
I'm with Jay as well! We don't even have to do it! Yes! Guess what? I don't have to eat my words! I don't have to eat my words! The Snyder's Cut! I mean, it is... I mean... okay, I guess... Do I have to eat my... Would we say that the Snyder Cut is bad? Because that's my words.
Okay, here's the problem is it's really easy to bash a movie saying that it is bad or to praise it saying that it is good and giving no reasons whatsoever for the pros or cons. I'm not going to say that this is the worst movie I've ever seen, and it's obviously not the best. So here's what I'll say, and I think this would warrant you to take at least a bite, is that it's not as bad as you were thinking it was going to be. I think that's a very fair statement.
Yeah.
I think that's a very fair statement.
We got Black Suit Superman. He didn't have the hair though. I was looking forward to the hair. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Right. Here,
Right?
you know what I'll do?
I was at least the beard. Like,
Right? They bothered
Yeah.
to give him the black suit, and I'm just
I
like,
will
bro,
rip off the bad. Okay.
Okay, you'll eat the bad
the
part.
bad, eat the bad.
And I will rewrite it as
Okay.
Yeah, it's, yeah.
You don't have to rewind it. Just say that with the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like with me in this movie, honestly, it's like the sinker is the commitment, the time. Like with Aquaman, why it's for me, why it's just below Aquaman is because like it's a fun, entertaining story that's short and concise. While with this movie, it's a fun, entertaining story that I don't think I'll watch again in one sitting.
No.
No. Agreed 100%.
My issue with Aquaman was its timing, because it's funny because if it would have came out before Black Panther, I would have said Black Panther was a meh, because it really almost shot for shot in a lot of places copied Black Panther. And it was just a bad timing thing. Like, who knows if there was studio espionage like you hear about. Like who knows if any of this was a part of it. But even the trailers, like if you guys go back and watch the trailers for those movies, it's pretty, like it was a lot of biting there. But that's a personal thing for me. But I will say I did enjoy the movie. But it was really hard for me not to be like, dang, this reminds me of Black Panther.
I really didn't think too much of that. I think the reason I didn't think too much of that line, and while I can't necessarily argue against your point, I'll say this. I don't know about the shot for shot comment, but I think, in my opinion, I think they took different roads, but they definitely like stopped at the same places.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like on their journey, they definitely stopped at the same places.
Like instead of being the king, he's fighting to be the king and stuff like that. Like they flip certain things.
Yeah. So, but different roads. But like as far as like checkpoints and plot,
there you go. That's what I mean. It was hitting all the same
close.
major.
It's actually very close.
Well, by the way, so that does put Zack Snyder's Justice League at number 6. So it's the top of the bottom. Of the bottom half of the list out of 10 movies. I don't know if we'll ever rate the Batman v Superman regular cut. I'd probably put that above Justice League if we ever did that. Like, it'd essentially be like below the Ultimate Cut, but above Justice League, because I feel like Justice League and Suicide Squad automatically take the bottom 2 spots.
I don't think you're going to get much argument.
Nope.
And you can debate which one is worse on any given day. I feel like
we can make a whole episode for that.
Oh, we could. But I'm happy with where it's placed. Because like genuinely, as I stated too, I didn't want this to be bad. So I'm pleasantly surprised with it's as good as it is. But for me, my problem with it is that like fundamentally this universe continues to break things from the comics that I like.
Yeah.
As a series.
Yes.
Like, okay, so Dev, hit the spoiler button,
please.
Yeah, we gotta do it.
So one thing that I want to talk about really fast.
Release the Kraken.
My biggest disappointment is the Flash, for me. Like, only because like
Not
I'm
you,
not
Baron.
yeah, you're like not you. Like only because for me, he is the one that kind of really sets back most of the story beats and stuff. That's kind of disappointing. Like the Flash is portrayed like we could see in his powers, he can go through time and whatnot. Like he has this really awkward scene with saving this woman with like a hot dog floating in the air.
That
and kind
is
of
such
creepy.
an awkward scene.
Yeah, like it's kind of creepy, and so we can establish that things like time dilation
through her
happen.
hair real quick. It's fucking weird, dude.
I thought he was gonna put the glizzy in her pocket, in her mouth. Or,
yeah, I thought so.
I really thought it was gonna get
Grabs the hot dog.
inappropriate.
I'm like, no.
Hey, I thought it was gonna get inappropriate. I will say that. I really did.
So like he does that kind of stuff, and then when we get towards the end of the movie, like his powers are established that the only way that they're established in this film is that the faster that he goes, he can turn back time. Like that's just kind of how it's explained in this film. It's not really given to us any other way. So then once we get to the climax of the movie, like once we get to the climax of the film, like where what I feel like they should have done is just let him do the thing on the first try and not get shot by the parademon.
Yes.
And because he should have been
parademon.
Yeah,
Yes,
like he should have been able to see that
sniper of all
blaster.
time.
Oh my god.
Well,
He's
okay,
all of a sudden dead shot.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
how
why
did
parademon
you hit-
at his chat going, clip it, clip it.
he gets murked by Batman right after. To play devil's advocate, though, for one reason, it is very Zack Snyder to have
Hey, bro, if
the heroes lose for a moment,
Oof.
even if it's just for a moment. The heroes did lose for
They
that moment.
lost. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then
once again, the
Barry
Flash carrying the
occupied.
burden.
He does. He occupies the space between spaces with his vibration ability, and then runs at the speed of light, and reverses time. And it sucks because, like, my opinion is like, well, shit. Here we are again, where the Flash's time travel is the MacGuffin for everything.
Yeah, literally, like in my notes here, when it happens, like I don't know if you can read it, but it says Flash dash back. God damn it! Because it literally it ends all of the tension in the scene, and like it makes it
That
so
is
it's like,
true. It's like
yeah,
very abrupt. It's like
yeah, it's
oh,
And
yeah,
then,
well,
and
it's
then-
like
you don't even go relief. You just go oh.
yeah, and then he rewinds time, and it's like, sure, everything's fine. He saves the day. So like, we didn't even need that, like that. Oh my goodness, is he gonna make it? Like, yes, it happened. And then that leads to my next disappointment, which is Darkseid, who he's like, I'm looking at the heroes here, and I'm gonna walk away.
Well,
And then
hold
his
on,
next line of dialogue is, hang on one second. And his next line of dialogue is, we'll do no matter what it takes. We'll take over the world. It's like,
Well-
it's right in fucking front of you.
We'll use the old ways or some shit.
Yeah,
My other thing too about that is this. So during this whole scene when Soup shows up, Soup starts beating the shit out of Steppenwolf. And this is why,
Yes.
again, Superman is not Superman in this franchise. Because Superman lasers one of his horns off and continues to beat the shit out of it.
True.
And then,
True.
That was
the
that
two
was a
people
real
that I'm
Batman
okay.
move.
Yes, the two people that I'm
That was a real
That was
Batman
a
move.
Batman,
Batman
move.
from
Yeah.
this universe, yes. Regular Batman, not as much. Like, this is
I don't know. I could see Batman. I could see
Batman
comic book Batman.
beats the shit out of people,
that's
but he
proof-
wouldn't rip someone's horn off. That wouldn't that you don't know would grow back.
I don't know.
I
He
don't
leaves people
know.
beaten and broken in
mean,
the snowy streets.
bro.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Anyways,
like
to
I
counter-
dare you to find me moments where people don't have permanent damage for him. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Anyways,
Is due to Batman.
anyways. The two from the scene, I'm okay with beating the shit out of Steppenwolf and like ending his life. Like, I'm okay with, like, Superman can kill. Like, he's done it in the comics, but it's like under the right circumstances. This is not one of those moments where Superman kills because he knows he can beat the shit out of Steppenwolf. It's like no pro bono. He's like, I wouldn't need to kill this guy to beat him.
yeah, it's
I just need to beat the shit out of
literally
him.
the first interaction between the two is, I'm disappointed. Like he knows he could beat him
Yes, he doesn't even
just
kill
in
him.
the contact of the axe.
The two who I'm okay with killing regardless, because they do in the comics, was Aquaman and Wonder Woman. And they do help with the
Yep.
kill, but like, Soups is involved in the kill, which Superman would have prevented that if he's Superman.
Could he still have like the remnants of not being? I'm playing, devil's advocate here.
yeah,
Could he
yeah,
still have
Somebody
the
needs
remnants
to.
of being somebody like just resurrected, like almost like
Yeah.
a Lazarus pit situation?
This is a
Like he's
Superman
still kind of twisted.
who killed a guy by punching him through 6 walls.
So he was just crazy. He was renegade to begin with.
Yeah,
Got it.
he's a renegade. He does like the
Can-
good
can
thing,
we-
but he chooses to do the bad thing relentlessly.
Can we talk about the biggest problem? The biggest problem with this whole movie.
1 second. I have one thing to say on Superman.
Do it. Do it.
Only because we're here. Like with Superman, I actually had a moment where I was very conflicted in this film because I almost didn't know if I liked him better in his black suit or if I wanted him to actually come back in a blue and red suit. Because like when I think of black suit Superman, I think of and once again, I don't know comic book lore very well. So like I think of somebody who's like dark, a little bit darker, a little more messed up in the head. Like he's not quite all there anymore because he's just died and been brought back to life type thing. Yes. But like in the context of this movie, we get to see Lois Lane show up and like he gets to relearn who he is. So part of me really wanted to see him come back and even like the brighter red and blues being like, yes, I am the Superman who Dev wants to be in these movies because I have chosen this path of good. But then he goes out there and starts beating the shit out of Steppenwolf. And I'm like,
right. In the black suit, which is kind of really shamelessly foreshadows what they kind of tease at the end, unfortunately, I feel like.
Oh, God.
But all right, single biggest problem.
Yes, single biggest problem.
Batman is not Batman.
Yes.
Dude, okay, I would like to follow that up with saying Batman is a bitch in this movie.
He has some cool Batman moments when he does Batman-y things where he like appears or he like grapples down.
He's not Batman.
You have the scale with the Batman-y things over here.
He sounds
and
like
then you have the him begging for his life over here. And I'm like, this is one of the things about the Whedon cut that I preferred. Because the man was ready to die from the get-go.
And he even said that was the Whedon one, right? I'm like blending universes here.
I was willing to make the trade. Yeah, that was Whedon.
And then he was like, oh, he's more of a human.
Please don't.
Human than I.
He literally looked at Clark wide-eyed and said, no, Clark. And I'm like,
he looks so soft in the
would never do this.
He didn't even look that soft when he was singing in the animated movie for Wonder Woman or in the animated show. Like, and he's singing a blues song for the woman he loves, and he didn't even look that soft. Like, look, okay, my issue with him, like, not just nitpicking, is okay. He just seems so mentally broken, and like he's been through way worse shit than this. Like up to this
like
point.
I think in the Batman, and what's funny is like in the Batman v Superman, it was like he was like struggling still with Jason's death. Is what they like. It kind of.
We don't know if it was 100% Jason. By the way, we just assume.
Yeah, whatever. It was.
Dead Robin. That's the thing.
There's a
It
dead
was a
Robin.
phone call.
But it's like, but even still, towards the end of that, he gains resolve in that movie, and he's gonna fight. He's gonna do what needs to happen. Versus, he goes to this movie, and it's like, hey, we're gonna bring back Superman. He's like, okay. And then, it happens, and it's almost like you can see it in his face. It's like he realizes that, oh shit, this dude's probably about to kill me. And he's like afraid of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me is just like,
he's never
like in the Whedon cut, like he looked almost like it rather than looking afraid, he looked like apologetic.
Yeah.
You know one thing I missed from the
like, dude, my bad.
Which seems more Batmanish. Like,
yeah.
damn it. Like,
like I messed up. I'm sorry. You want to kill me? Cool, go for it. But like,
one thing I really missed from the Whedon cut is Superman coming to fight Darkseid. Because that line that he says, as cheesy as it is so Superman when he gets there. Because Stephenwolf's like, you will know the truth. And Superman shows up, goes, I'm a fan of truth.
A fan of justice.
Also a big fan of justice. And it pans to him, and you're like, Superman!
Yeah. That was for that third. Also, for the Snyder Cut, bar none, one of my favorite moments, both involving Superman and the Flash, was they just arrested him and he just sidesteps Flash.
Yeah.
That was great.
The whole fight's great.
Bowling pins Aquaman.
I will say, like, the fights in this movie are way better than the Whedon cut.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like
oh man, it was
like
great.
a direct comparison would be like the Wonder Woman bank scene. Like they amped up her bullet blocking so much in that movie. And it's ridiculous, but it's better.
That's actually the part I actually have a problem with.
Can
Go for it? Yeah.
So she beats everyone in the bank. She beats the shit out of them and probably kills a few of them, which, okay, happens. It's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The last guy standing has to reload. Let me use the power I used to kill Ares, my like half brother.
And there's people
and
around.
He's just gone.
God.
His
Let me
hat's still
destroy
there.
the bank. Let me ruin the instead of saving the bank, which I could have
Which was
done.
the
I could have
point.
put my hand in between the clip and the gun because I moved that fast.
because of how fast.
Kicked him,
Instead,
lassoed him,
I do
threw something at him.
Big
my
difference.
Threw him out the hole.
superpower.
Like anything.
Yeah, I did think it was
And
weird
I
that her
feel like
sleep
this
was
is one of
popping a
these
bomb
days-
was setting off a
The
bomb.
people behind her would not have been alive after.
No.
No,
No, she
and
deflected
you
it
can't
with
tell
her
me there
feather.
wouldn't have
Like you
been
someday.
damage if they were. Like,
Can I be like you someday? No, I'm a
Anything
god.
you want to be.
And you're dead. I'm sorry.
I'm
you would be
legitimately
dead
a
when I did this.
demigod.
Oh,
My dad is Zeus and my mom is the queen of the Amazons. You cannot be like me someday. I'm sorry. Just fundamentally. You could try to be like me and to strive to be like me, but like genuinely in like you can't be like me.
and because of her lineage, she could have single-handedly beat up
Yes.
Darkseid.
Okay.
Darkseid,
so,
yeah.
Ares
based
and
off of
Zeus.
one
Based
part.
off of that scene.
Oh my god!
Ares and Zeus,
Zeus and
beat
Ares beat
Darkseid.
Darkseid.
She is the
Whooped
daughter of
his ass.
Zeus and beat the shit out of Ares. I.e.,
Beat the dog shit out of him.
she can beat Darkseid. Why can't she beat Steppenwolf? Why can't
Dude,
she?
can
Why
we-
do we need Superman revived? We don't, because we got
We
freaking
don't.
Wonder Woman. Who
And his hair is not
terrorized
long enough.
Darkseid. Ah! Why?
Dude.
This breaks so much shit. Darkseid is made out to be such a fucking bitch. Also, how do you lose the anti-life equation? How don't you know how to get back there? Like, it's
Yeah.
the fucking anti-life equation. And why is the anti-life equation on Earth? It just, ah!
It makes no sense.
Dude, I wrote down one of my notes on here is, does Darkseid have dementia? Like he had to conquer 100,000 worlds and to realize he doesn't know where the fuck
Wait,
Earth is?
maybe
Or is
maybe
Darkseid
the-
human?
Maybe the mental thing of like, dude, I just got my ass kicked, and so he repressed all the events that
Whoa,
happened
whoa,
on
whoa.
Earth.
The other thing, too, about it
Has
is-
ever happened.
They keep saying, like, they're from, like, Darkseid is from different universes, which doesn't make sense.
I hate that.
Like, they
Ugh.
keep saying, like, he's conquered universes. Like, but that's not what Darkseid does. He conquers the universe he's in. And then if he's
Yeah.
feeling ballsy after that, he'll conquer the other universes. But, like, he hasn't even claimed a universe yet. Why is he trying to conquer other universes if you're saying he's conquered? Like, it doesn't make sense. And then
They skipped
how
that.
hasn't he got the
First.
anti-life equations from these other universes to, you know, and just amplify? It just continues to devolve. And like, how don't they just kick his ass when he gets there? Like, he could have just, like, the whole future shit doesn't make sense to happen because they get
Like,
Why
easily
does he
beat his
jump on the
ass.
battlefield? Why? Like, why does he get
Yeah,
into the
why-
fray like a basic combatant?
Mhm.
Like, he should have
Like-
been standing there with his arms behind his back,
Yes.
looking over the
And
battlefield
then if
as they're
anyone got
struggling
close
against
to
his
him,
men.
just Omega
Right.
Beam.
Omega beam him. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
He
Omega
doesn't
Beam
do
him
an
because
Omega
it's
Beam
like,
during the fight.
Nope.
because you can't even make the argument that he feels like bloodlust or the thrill of fighting. Like he
No.
feels any
No,
fighting is
because
That's not who he is.
Yeah.
He only ever fought Superman because he had to.
Which, by the way, I wish, well, the one thing I do wish we would have gotten from this universe is the Superman Darkseid and see if they try to do something cool with it. Because, again, referencing Justice League Unlimited, my favorite goddamn Superman scene of all time is the end of JLU when Superman gives
cuts
his
loose.
goddamn speech where he's like, you know, I feel like my world, and like the world I live in is made of cardboard. One wrong move, and I would destroy it all. I have to hold back so much. But you, Darkseid, you can take it. And they just go at it. And, like, it's such a great moment because the problem, too, is, like, we want to get that because this Superman also doesn't hold back. He just beats the shit out of stuff.
Screw
Yeah,
that.
like there's no build up. It's like
Mhm.
He just goes all out every time. And we don't get that, like Superman's obviously going to have to hold back against this person.
His name's Kyle, not Clark.
Superman shows up in the black suit with like a monster. Disappointed. Let's go.
oh jeez.
Black suit with a black Superman suit like hat. turns it backwards.
God.
Yeah,
Let's
turns
go.
He carries a monster truck on his arm into every battle.
It's a monster
Like-
truck that has like a faucet for monster, so it's like a monster sponsored one. Let's go.
Like continuing off of that Darkseid conversation, like what they did is in this movie, they made Steppenwolf more intriguing by making
yes,
Darkseid
yes.
such a bitch.
It's a bit,
And like it kind of sucks too because Steppenwolf seems a lot more motivated. He's like he has more of a motivation and like to do these things, and it's to get to Darkseid's side. But Darkseid himself doesn't have a motivation. He's just evil for evil's sake in this, and so it gets very confusing.
We were gonna get into
And-
that, so to bring that up, like the two movies that we're playing after this, Justice League 2 and 3, like it was gonna get into like the next one was gonna be, I think, mostly the nightmare stuff and like resetting the timeline and like Bruce sacrificing himself to save Lois, and then we get to Justice League 3 where they win against Darkseid, and then
Where we get to see the Lois baby, Lois
yeah,
super baby.
Bruce Clark, who was named after Bruce who dies.
Yeah.
God, this universe was gonna be so fucking dumb. And like, I think after if this movie had been released, I would have just gone Fast and Furious with it, where like I would have gone like, you know what? I just need to turn my brain off and not care anymore because they obviously fucking don't. Like, at least
Yeah,
with Fast
for
and
real.
Furious, they have fun with it. Like, these movies aren't even that fun. Like, there's occasionally funny moments. Like, I do genuinely enjoy the Flash Aquaman moment with the hats where he's like, hat 1? No, definitely not hat 1. Hat 2? Go back to hat 1. That is a funny moment.
But
Yep.
that also kind of replaced my favorite line from the Whedon version, which was the lasso of truth with Aquaman.
No, okay,
Great,
we can
man.
cut that.
No, I love that
Yes.
scene. No,
If it
screw
means
you.
that,
I love
no,
that
no, no.
scene.
Okay, my reason being is that is a Whedon doing Marvel scene. DC
Mhm.
doesn't have to do Marvel to be funny.
True.
I.e.,
Is that why you
the
guys
hat
didn't
scene.
like Shazam?
Shazam's
Like,
our number
Shazam was
one.
number one on our list.
Oh,
I
got it,
feel
got it,
like-
got it.
But like
No,
Shazam is
I-
still fun in its own way because it feels like Shazam. Like it feels like a Shazam comic book movie
Mhm.
brought to life. And like
I
Shazam's
feel
supposed to be
like-
colorful and fun.
True.
I disagree with your thing of like DC trying to do Marvel with that scene. It's like like, you know, they did similarities and they might have done shit like that first, but it's like I think for the basis of not liking it
No, I'm
just
not-
for that is kind of
I'm
BS.
not,
Like, I'll be
I'm
straight
not
up.
saying like it's DC trying to do it. It was Whedon trying to do it.
I don't care. I mean, it's like we didn't try to do Marvel. Like,
Well,
I don't,
the
like, I
problem
think
with that
I think
is-
that's a fun scene.
The problem is if you put it in context of what this universe is, it begins to glare as a way, like at least with the Snyderness of the rest of that movie, it sticks out like a sore thumb. If that makes sense, because it's like you got
Right? No,
two
it makes
conflicting.
sense. No, my argument is just like for the Whedon cut, like in general, I don't much care that it wasn't in the Snyder cut because it had its own moments.
Mm.
But I feel like your magnifying glass has a glare if you're
Well, no, I'm just pointing that out in the sense that like if it like I'm not saying I like the Snyderverse. Like I've said, I find it fundamentally broken since Man of Steel because it's not a Superman movie and that's where we're starting. Okay. But like the vision of this movie would not have had that joke in it, you know what I mean? And that's what we're kind of seeing through, I guess. The other thing I want to talk about real quick before we go like super far into something else. Why did the girl smell the sweatshirt?
I was gonna just
Oh no.
the Halo moment.
Yeah.
Like the singing was beautiful, but
Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
It made no sense.
I was waiting for
It
Master
was-
Chief
made no
to
sense.
airdrop in.
made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
I don't.
This is
I
his
don't-
send off. You're singing off to sniffing a sweater.
Likes fish. That's just it.
Yeah.
It just
I-
one of the two creepy moments in this movie.
yeah, that's one of the two. There's that and then burying the hot dog and
Hot dog,
Iris.
yeah.
That I was so ready for something so bad to happen. I was like, are they really about to all this hype and they're gonna lose everything over this glizzy?
One
Like
scene.
they're gonna they're gonna do it. Oh, I was like, they're gonna burn it down. Mary's canceled.
Like with
Like,
gasoline, like just,
Yeah, I was like, oh God. Oh
This is how they
Dude.
bring in Wally West.
bro. Oh my!
Yeah.
Wow!
You want to know how? No, hold on. You want to know how they're gonna bring in Wally? How the Snyderverse would bring in Wally West? He would have actually, and they wouldn't have been related, but he would have been actually Iris's like husband. And like she had the West last name because of that, and so like Joe West doesn't actually exist in that sense. He's like got a different last name and all that. Sorry, I'm just making fun of the Snyderverse. But like, let's be real, that would have been how they would have done it with like the Bruce Clark or the Bruce Kent ship. Let's be real. If there was a Wally, he would have been like Iris's husband, who's like divorced, like they're divorcing, and then Barry would have been like, "Well, I could be your new husband."
You sure that it's not just like the Nightmare version isn't just Wally West? Like,
Ooh.
I'm just
because
Or
no,
what
because
if
it's
Wally
Ezra in the
is?
suit.
What if Wally is really Reverse Flash?
It would be the entire time.
I wouldn't put it past this universe.
That actually.
I wouldn't put it past this universe one fucking bit.
Every time I see Reverse Flash, I think,
God.
Wait,
I just think that meme.
I missed this. What?
Snyder somehow making Wally West end up be a Reverse Flash.
Have you seen the CW Flash? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have.
Okay, yeah, like this, like comparatively, would you guys rather watch CW stuff or would you rather watch this universe?
CW.
CW.
Man. Like,
I enjoy the CW, but I like angsty teen dramas, so I'm all there.
dude, CW Green Arrow's about
That's
Batman.
Batman. Thank you. I had to explain to my wife. No, please. I had to explain to my wife. I was like, everything about this, minus the green and the bows, is freaking Batman.
100%.
He literally marries an Al Ghul. He literally becomes the head of the demon. I was like, this is Batman.
Oh my God, how bereft have you been to where you're just so glad to have that off your chest? Because like, we've talked about this for months now. It's like, yeah, this is 100%.
I just had nobody else to bounce that off of that would have cared, and my wife watches it with me, and I'm like, dude, I've never seen such a good Batman show that's not Batman.
Yeah,
The reason why they
This
didn't
is
use
an amazing Batman.
it's a bad Oliver Queen, but like not to like harp on like Stephen Amell. I think he would have been great if they would have given him more comedic bits. I think he's fantastic. He's a really great actor and a really great person, but like never in that show is he really Oliver Queen.
Dude, Manu Bennett as Deathstroke. Like, let's fucking go.
A lot about Joe in this movie.
Speaking of Deathstroke, let's talk about this whole end of this movie with
the
change,
4 endings.
the change of the Lex thing, which I think works.
So bad.
The changing of the Lex scene works because like it makes it, instead of Lex going like, well, why don't we have a league of our own? Instead it's like, I know who Batman is, Slade. He is Bruce Wayne. And he's like, I got something to drink for then with my really, really bad wig and dyed goatee.
Joe Manganiello, whatever his name is.
Great guy.
I just feel like he would make Deathstroke too funny on accident.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like on
Well, he
accident.
had a moment of
like not
in
even
the,
trying.
He had a moment of it where I kind of laughed in the post credit, like the little like the nightmare thing where he's like, "You sure we wanted to bring this guy along?" Like,
Okay, can I also like, just in terms of like casting choices and like mistakes, Jesse Eisenberg
Yeah, big time.
as Lex.
Yeah,
we talked
this
about it
doesn't
when we
work
talked
out.
about BVS.
I'm aware, but the fact of the matter is that we keep having to come back to him.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was a
So-
little better this time around. Like,
No.
personally.
He's
But
better
still
than he
awful.
was in the other one, but because of the other one, you have to like take what happened previously and apply it to this Lex. He's more contained, but like the other stuff from BVS happened, and like his convoluted ass fucking plan from BVS happened. Or who knows what the actual plan was. He's like, oh, I'm playing 5D chess with myself.
Seemed like the Riddler more than anything.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And I mean, there were so there have been so many actors, both like who has acted Lex and who has voiced him. I mean, Michael Rosenbaum, the guy who played Lex in Smallville. Like,
would have been.
let's give him
amazing.
another shot.
Yeah, that would have been sick.
John
Why are they
Cryer
always
from
so afraid?
Supergirl is a better Lex.
I would totally
Yeah.
like. I think for nostalgic reasons, I just want Rosenbaum back. I mean, that's straight up. It's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'll take John Cryer. Hell, like offer Gene Hackman enough money, he might come back.
Bring him back.
His Lex is actually fun in its own way. Like he's quirky. He's Silver Age Lex.
I actually don't think he would be great for a modern Lex. That would just be fun
but
to see.
he's Silver Age Lex. Me and Steven talked about because we did Superman earlier, like the OG Superman. Like I talked about, he's Silver Age Lex, the like quirky, silly Lex from when the comics couldn't be as gritty and stuff, because of censors. And it fits perfect for Christopher Reeve's Superman, because Christopher Reeve's Superman is definitively Superman, and it works great for that. The problem is Jesse Eisenberg is just this. I created Facebook. Let's have fun. Here's a Jolly Rancher. I'm gonna pop it in your mouth. And peach tea, here you go.
Mhm.
I'm gonna blow you up.
Here's
Ha ha ha.
Yeah, like there were
An
like,
Acme
stick
version.
to magician and tech movies, man. Like don't that is like I used to honestly thought that Ezra was probably like the biggest casting mistake as far as like that goes. But you know what? No, I think he just struggles due to the writing and just straight up casting mistakes like Eisenberg, like 100%. That is nothing against the actor and what he's done previous. That just I can't see it. I don't see it.
That's fair.
And both can't.
You know who I think gets a better shot in this, and we talked a little bit about the character, is Ray Fisher's Cyborg.
Oh yeah.
He's got a much better story in this than in the Joss Whedon movie.
He has a story in this.
Yeah.
Versus the John Whedon movie.
I felt. Go ahead.
I didn't dig too much into the drama of it because I really didn't care to. But any drama around it, seeing this movie and how much was cut out of him, makes me think that it was all like real and they were actively plotting against him. Ides of March.
Dude,
style.
absolutely.
Like,
This dude had a target on his fucking back. Like
they completely.
what?
I was like, this. Like I once again look, my wife nerds out with me, or at least I drag her along the journey. And I told her, I was like, dude, this is an actual story now. Like, we know what a mother box is. We know, like, wait, we get like it, dude. They robbed that man. Highway robbery.
Like Screen Rant made a joke about it earlier, I think yesterday, and in their pitch meeting satire review of this, and they're like, yeah, this whole story is basically Cyborg's story, and it's like, wow, he actually has a plot. It's like, and they make the joke that like the Joss Whedon apparently hated Rady, and like that's why he got all of his stuff cut out. Like,
yeah, it like honestly, with how much is cut from it, it makes me wonder. Like, because me and Steven, like, we have a new segment usually during this. We're not going to today because it's got to run a little bit longer than normal, and we don't want to make them run forever. Despite some characters in this running forever.
as long as they can.
There we go.
As long as they can hold it.
And so
Cramp.
the like
Gut shot.
we've talked about.
You're not telling me.
Oh god, that fucking seemed goddamn hurt.
Clip that. Clip it.
I mean,
Hey,
wrong.
dude,
Not wrong.
if this was Shadow of Mordor, he would have became one of the Hand immediately.
Dude, right?
He would have ranked up so much.
Your death will bring me glory.
Darkseid should have just teleported that guy out and been like, "You did the impossible.
You
Welcome.
are the one.
You will no longer
Like-
be a parademon."
No, especially too because he was like watching him with his eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
"You light speed,
Dude,
you son of a
man.
bitch."
I swear, it's like this aimbot using motherfucker.
Well,
Bro, like, how did he not like? I actually want to see a whole movie from that Paradigma's perspective now. Like,
Like the time passed differently for you. Like what happened?
Yeah, I need this.
The other paradigms couldn't hit Batman. That guy hit the Flash. He timed it and hit the Flash. Like,
Okay,
it wasn't an accident either.
No.
Yeah, right. It wasn't like pew. Like I would have been less upset had I seen this and the parody was going pew, 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 you know, trying to like get him.
Yeah.
But
Like,
this
'cause, like,
paradigm, when we've seen shoot multiple
like,
times,
just-
he's getting it closer and closer. You can see him going like he's shot a couple times. He's like, "Ooh, I was close on that one." It's like a sniper in fucking Warzone. You're like, "Ooh,
Dude,
I almost there."
yeah, I think that's but there was just that pause. It's like now, and
Yeah.
he fucking hits him, and I'm just because once that pause happened, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, don't you do it?
Yeah, don't you fucking
Don't
dare.
you do it. He did it.
Back in time, baby. Back in time.
It's a cool
Like-
scene, at least the time travel.
Yeah,
thing.
the going back in time was cool. Like they
Yeah.
tried their best to make up a better Quickster scene than in X-Men Days of Future Past or whatever it was. They didn't get there, but it still was cool looking. And I think honestly the big problem too with this Flash and why he will never have a scene that looks as good is just how fucking messy he makes the screen with his electricity. Like that's it. It's
Dude,
flying
such
across
a
the screen.
visual overload.
Exactly. It's going in every direction. You're never going to get as clean as an image as you will in like the X-Men version of the
or
Speedster.
even like Grant Gustin's Flash, because like his lightning is usually behind him.
Yeah,
Yep.
not all around him.
Yeah, like the only time you ever see the lightning go around him in the CW Flash is when he's intentionally trying to throw it.
Yep. And it's circling around and
Yeah, because he directed it, like he has control of it.
Dude, I'm shocked he wasn't. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's
No,
okay.
you're good.
Yeah, you're fine. I was going to change subject so you can keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm shocked he wasn't like shoulder smashing everybody in this film. Like just sprint shoulder
Dude,
smash.
that one paradigm and he shoulder smashes through the door.
Yeah.
Bam! Also,
Yeah,
something
I
else
was like-
that actually that scene gets better because actually the heroes jump in and help people instead of like watching a couple people die and be like, "Do we go in now?" Barry, at least save one person. Barry, come
That
on,
didn't
save one
happen.
person. Instead the heroes jump in and save everyone. No one
Yeah.
dies in that scene.
Like I like that better that they jump in and save everybody, but then that's a scene that I also have a lot of confliction with Flash again, because to me, like at least in the original version, just save one person. He actually carries people out of the building.
Mhm.
And this
It's-
version, he escorts them up. Then sure, he saves them from the rocks falling on them. But then the only other thing he does in this battle is get Gal Gadot her sword, which she's Wonder Woman. She would have grabbed her sword if it landed on the ground. It doesn't fucking matter. So like, what was his motivation in the fight other than to break his ankle? Like,
Movie got a movie, Steven. Movie got a movie.
exactly. That's exactly what happened. Like, I genuinely feel like Zack Snyder's like, I don't know what the fuck to do with the Flash. I'm just gonna make him stupid, and I'm gonna make him hurt himself. That way, he can't be important in the fights. And then at the end, he'll go back in time.
Gotta go back in
Like,
time.
yeah, like his one moment of brilliant importance is basically like, hey, everybody else fucked up, fix it.
Yeah, it's a rewrite to the story and all the dramatic tension that they built up. Like, yeah.
Like again,
And then-
you don't even like dramatic tension again. You're
To me,
supposed to
it
feel
is.
relief at the end. Instead, it just ends. Like that's,
Yeah, it was like, to me it got rid of all the tension. Like it could be technically a different type of tension that's like, oh my goodness, they failed, but because of Barry they're not technically failed yet, they have a second chance. Like it could be like kind of like, I'm thinking of it similar to like a jump scare where they do the setup and then they swap it out and then they get the actual like payoff to the jump scare. Like it could be kind of like that, but honestly it just feels like a waste of time.
Well,
to me.
especially because it's 4 hours long. Like
Yeah.
it was just it was
Yeah, like
overcooked.
well, I got watching this movie. I ended up during my second time watching it, I had to step away because I was like, okay, I got to use the restroom, but I'm not going to pause because I'm watching it with my family. So I'll let them keep watching and I'll walk away. And the one moment I walked away, I did this twice actually. The two moments that I walked away, the second time was in the middle of the fight, and I was like, okay, this movie's there's like 30 minutes left, so I guess if I walk away from the final climax of the fight, and I came back 5 minutes later and the climax was over, and I was like, that's it. Like the whole movie, came for this moment and it's done in 5 minutes. That's kind of disappointing. Like, so there was that. And then the other moment, which I actually got kind of really confused on, because I didn't realize it, was the first scene that we got to see the Martian Manhunter. Like,
was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Oh my
very
god,
last
why
scene
is
of the
that
movie.
what happened?
yes. So like that, I want to know this. This is really confusing to me because Martian Manhunter pretends to be Mrs. Kent and visits Lois Lane. They have this conversation about how great Superman was, and then we find out that Martian Manhunter was Mrs. Kent, and that's kind of the end of the conversation.
And he's General
Which-
Stillwell.
Yes, which gets me super confused. Like, what's his
Ooh.
motivation?
What?
How does this
When?
change? Yeah.
Yeah.
What? When? Why? Why? How? What does this do to Lois's Lane?
And it just, by the way,
like
it
How
can-
does he know who everybody is?
exactly.
Well, the other thing is too, why now? Why now reveal yourself? Like
Mhm.
this, like I know they've been teasing it. Like Zach's been like, oh yeah, no, Stillwell was gonna be a Manhunter, and like the big question from the other two movies was, then why didn't he do anything? He let Superman get nuked in BVS and
Mhm.
did nothing.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Like,
And I mean, there's so
Yeah.
so
but,
it
like,
would have so the original cut for this. I think this is one of these times to where like the studio is still getting its last jab as far as like, no, this is what we want. Was because I watched a video kind of article on this, kind of explaining it. The original actor supposed to be in that scene, like the original character, was actually supposed to be the Green Lantern, John Stewart.
Oh.
They did
So-
randomly have lanterns throughout the
So-
movie.
yeah,
Yeah, so yeah,
like
and so
Kilowog is dead in one of them, which is upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. But like, yeah, so it was supposed to be, and they were like, I don't know why. Okay, so there's two things that really bug me about this whole setup. Number one is that Snyder was very like adamant, like he wanted to have the character John Stewart come in, you give his intro and basically say, hey, you know, he's not done, yada yada yada. Like it would make sense for a Green Lantern to have that kind of intel rather than a guy who's just been watching from the sidelines on Earth the entire time.
Yeah, like especially too because I'm thinking of it directly to Lois's Lane in this moment. Like he talks to her, and she's already established a pattern of showing up to Superman's grave every single day in this movie. So why does his dialogue with her change her motivation to go to that grave again?
Well,
Like,
no, she's
it does
stopping by
nothing
the
for us.
grave one last time, the memorial, and then
Mhm.
going to work. She's moving forward with her life. That's what it was. Like it was going to be her last time going there for a while, and then going to
So
Daily Planet.
was he actually trying to help them in saving the day, or was he trying to sabotage in that instance?
That we don't know. Yeah, not sabotage, but
Ooh.
like we don't know if he knew that Superman was coming back or something.
Mhm.
We don't know if he knows that, but we
Yeah,
just
because
know
the
that.
only reason. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We just know that he was trying to get, as far as we can tell, trying to convince Lois to go back to work. That's all
trying
we know.
to go back and living her life.
Yes. Whether or not that's
So-
because he knew that they were over there doing the mother box stuff and, you know, not helping with that. You know, that all happens, but, you know, it's just one of those things that's just like, you know, her ending up there on accident just seems kind of silly because, like, at least in the Whedon cut, you know, Jeremy Irons' Alfred went and picked her up and brought her to the scene.
Yeah, like I'm conflicted on this too, because at least in this version it feels more natural. Like she's progressively showing up to these things, so she's like already there. It's like, oh man, this is great. And it just in the Joss Whedon version, it makes Batman seem more intellectual because he's like, I made this as a plan. She was my backup plan. So like,
He seems more Batman-ish.
exactly.
Yeah, it's almost like he's not a bitch. And
Yeah. So like, there's a give and take on both of these scenes, and I'm like, I don't know which one I prefer because with the Joss Whedon version, it just feels weird and kind of out of nowhere that she shows up and she's like, I'm here to save the day. But Batman's like, it was my plan all along. But in this version, it's so long and drawn out that she's already there that like, it's like, I don't know if I prefer she just showed up suddenly.
At least Batman didn't scream out Martha.
That's true.
Yeah.
Batman didn't scream out Martha. Yeah, whatever.
Why'd you say that? Why'd you say the name?
I mean,
Dude, okay. So, kind of the second half, though, of what I was saying about the Green Lantern scene and why Martian Manhunter, like, replaced him. But Snyder is also determined to have another Green Lantern actor reprise his role.
no.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Oh, wow.
according. It's the sources for this video is to be believed. Deadpool's going back into green.
He's not going to do it.
I don't-
100%. I don't
I mean,
ever
he
see
did
this.
live tweet himself watching the Green Lantern.
That
for
was
the first time.
hilarious.
Yes, it was.
Because he's never actually watched the movie. So he's like, yeah, this is my first time actually watching through the movie. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to drink my aviation-sponsored gin because, you know,
Yeah.
it's my gin, so why not? And he made what's called the Lantern's Light drink for it.
Oh god.
Which I do want to try. But, like, you know, he was just drinking that the entire time as he watched it. And live tweeting.
Maybe
it
it
was
made
great.
it better.
To that movie's credit, it was still before we got to the MCU era of like superhero movies, so like it wasn't quite where it was gonna need to be for a good superhero movie, especially a Green Lantern movie.
There's a lot that this
There's a lot that needs.
like you know what? No, I'm not going there. You haven't told it. It's not just me.
If only this universe was like the DC movies were just better.
No,
I've got, like-
is it an issue of like properties? Like, is it that you have such a like in WB and Warner Brothers, they're just so you. Is it you think they don't respect the core content?
Yes, I mean
Enough
that's
to-
part of it.
Yeah, like
I'm conflicted on that personally, only because like I know me growing up, I grew up on all the DC cartoons and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
all the-
yeah.
like,
the cartoons are more, they're closer knit to the source.
yeah. So like those stuff that like I feel like they know what it takes to do it. It's just transitioning it towards the big screen, the gold screen, as people like to call it. Like it doesn't quite add up.
And I think it's budget. I really think it turns into a money thing where it's like, oh, you can have this million or so, which I'm roughly shooting out, you know, to create 10 episodes.
Mhm.
But I don't know how I feel about just letting you go and create based on a source material that I didn't look at, I as in higher ups in the organization, to put my logo and my marketing and da 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 da. I think it turns into a, well, we got this because we've been so successful with movies. We know movies. So let
They
us
don't know
the-
superhero movies.
and this is what I
That's the
this is my
problem,
and this is my overall issue. I think that's what the number one problem is you have people who think they know more than, because my biggest issue, look at if you did copy and paste from the comics to the movie scene look at the Watchmen outside of the ending and the perspective of which the story is told. It was kind of frame for frame and it did pretty damn well, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Why can't you just see more of that? Like, honestly, a lot of these stories are just A1. Like, you didn't have to recreate Batman and castrate him in order to tell this story. Like,
Well,
you
the thing
didn't-
is, like, to tell this story, they didn't just they gave him the edginess in BVS and then they castrate him in this one. Like, they have him
They made him Superman.
literally
Yeah.
fucking murk people by grabbing a car that he just blew up with a grappling hook and then wrecking balling it so no one lives. And then, you know, we get him into this one, which I mean is character story because, like, he's like, you know, I'm trying to find redemption after, you know, essentially beating the shit out of Superman and being like, wow, I was wrong here. Maybe I need a little redemption. And, like, I can get that, but the problem is, like, does Batman deserve redemption after being like, I hate you for killing people, Superman, despite the fact I keep killing people, Superman?
I feel like Batman's one of the hardest critics on himself. Like, at least in the comic books,
Yes.
where like he doesn't like. I think wasn't the joke. Wasn't there a comic book where people are like they had them hold Wonder Woman's lasso of truth and be like, say your name, and he was the only one who was like, I am Batman. I'm not Bruce Wayne. I am Batman, and like it just like completely changes the context of how everything goes in these like character developments. Like in Batman, he feels like he is the Cape Crusader who has to change and fix everything because he always
makes
down on himself. Like
the man makes contingency plans if one or multiple members of Justice League go rogue, to the point to where he makes a file on himself.
Yep. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what was that movie recently? There was a movie me and Dev watched recently where not recently, maybe about a year ago at this point. It was a DC animated movie where I think it was
get a hold
Young
of his-
Justice and or something along those lines. And the first thing that happens is all the Justice League starts to get brainwashed. And the first thing that happens is Batman's like, I got to take myself out of the equation because if I get brainwashed,
it's the first movie in the DC animated that include the Teen Titans.
I think
We
yes.
didn't review that, actually.
Did we not? I
No.
feel like we did.
Yeah, I mean, you might have just watched it on your own, which I give you kudos for.
Yeah, but no, he straight up like was like, we're compromised, and he pulls out a fucking nerve toxin that he intended to use on Bane. Like,
And like puts it on himself to be like, yeah, if I stay awake, I'm gonna fuck everything up and everybody. So I am the most dangerous Justice League member. You won't be able to solve the problem.
At that point,
if I'm
I don't know
awake.
if that was so much like ego. I don't know if that was so much ego as much as I can prevent myself from becoming a threat. And so it's like that was like his immediate. I think that's more of his immediate motivation.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I don't want to classify it as ego. I'm like, he truly knows, and we know what his doomsday protocol. He knows how to absolutely wreck everyone to their core, including himself.
Yeah,
so I
that's
think
true.
I don't want to say I trash on Batman a lot just for the sake of trashing on him, but he is inhuman in his own way, excluding the whole Marvel thing. He is like he is humanity completely linked to AI, like just completely gone. He is one track minded, and that like I keep thinking about the comic of all the speedsters across all universes lining up to race, and then you got Batman lining up, and they look at him and he says, "I am Batman." I get goosebumps every time I think about it because in my heart I question whether or not he'd figure out a way to compete and or win.
Well, I mean, there's also a scene.
There's Sonic, freaking the Flash, Superman, Quicksilver, and you just see Batman get up to the damn line, and you have to wonder, can he do it?
And that's like, and even if he can't, the fact that this guy like exudes such an aura about himself that you have to ask the question is like a feat even of itself.
Yeah,
but
can
also,
this rich man actually do this?
there's also a scene from, I can't remember if it's Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, but Batman gets poisoned by Copperhead, and then he gets back to work and he's like, I'm gonna go to this place, but Martian Manhunter was assigned to be like, watch him, and John was standing in his way, and then he's like, are you going to try to stop me? And then Martian Manhunter goes, no. And I'm just like, that's either John was being a nice guy or like he thought twice.
Well, another good one is
even the reality of the fight, even if it's completely one-sided, the fact of the matter is that he makes you ask the question.
well, another good one
I feel
is Justice League Doom with Vandal Savage, where like Vandal gets a bunch of people against the Justice League and has Mirror Master break into the Batcave and steal the files on how to beat each Justice League team member. And then the end of that movie is like, Batman, you're out of the Justice League because you had that file. And he's like, you know, I have a contingency plan.
It's like,
And Soup's like,
it's
what?
like if-
You guys, later.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just.
but yeah,
And I didn't get none of that energy from Batman this entire. Batman seems so helpless.
to be fair, you don't really get any of that energy from either cut, like of that energy from either cut. However, it's a step closer in Whedon's cut than it is in Snyder's.
True.
And that to me was like the premier disappointment of the movie to me, was when that happened. And then everything else is just kind of but it's by comparison to me, because Batman has been my favorite hero since ever, and that is the hill I'll die on. But and then that happens, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, there have been other bad Batman films, and yet that is the one in Snyder Cut is the one I feel the most disappointment towards,
because it's the most Batman.
Yeah.
Like there's even nippled Batman was still Batman. Like
in the back card.
Yeah, like everything about him. Yeah, he had the whole suave thing. Like he was still Batman. And then we gotta the ending part. That's what put the nail in the coffin for me, was him trying to mentally one up he who we have not yet named yet. Like yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I'm okay with that. He was not bad in my opinion, outside of the whole reach around thing. Like, but like, why would you toy on the whole sexuality thing that everybody's always thought like there was some weird love? Because let's be honest, the Arkham Knight, like him walking out with Joker's body and not Talia's body, was the weirdest thing, and it made no sense. Was it Arkham Knight? Which Arkham game was it?
Arkham City.
Arkham City. On Arkham City, him walking out with Joker's body, leaving the love, like that made. I was like, what?
I never dwelled too much on that until you just now brought that up, and now I question it as well.
It made no sense. It ruined a great game, because it made no sense. Like, but okay. Yeah.
At least in this version of the movie, we didn't get to see the Joker crown of thorns. Because apparently there's a black and white version where he does actually have the crown of thorns on.
Really?
Yeah, I remember sharing that image and everyone being like, why?
Yeah,
for real.
But, like, the Joker was interesting. At least he was segregated to what would have been if this was a theatrical release. That nightmare sequence most likely would have been a post-credit scene. So
yeah,
at least it would have been segregated.
It definitely had the vibe of a post-credit
scene.
Yeah. So, but I was still disappointed seeing him. I was like, why is he in let alone a nightmare scene that's 5 minutes long that really doesn't matter? I mean, it kind of matters because it's setting up Batman's super motivations, but it really doesn't, because this Batman doesn't exist anymore.
Right. And let's talk about the potential. And this is where we actually talk about the potential injustice story arc that they're going into.
Yeah.
And how much I don't like it for multiple reasons. Because top of my list, really, and this is referencing more comic material rather than the movie material. But if Superman's gonna take out anybody, like, it wasn't gonna be Aquaman, just for the simple fact of he's also has magic at his disposal. But again, in this one, you don't really see him use magic, so it kind of makes a little more sense.
Also,
now I'm just more annoyed. Really,
with the cyborg visions, he's not the one who takes out fucking Aquaman. Darkseid does. So like Mara being like, he's mine, doesn't make fucking sense because Superman didn't even kill Aquaman.
That's true.
Like
So
Superman,
are we
like.
So is it? Well, I guess my question now is it an injustice line, or are we going into the fact to where they did Justice League War and in the animated thing they actually captured Superman and was attempting to turn him? And could they have been successful?
Well,
Because
no,
you do see like on a.
I'll explain the Cyborg Flashes real quick because that I think will explain your question on that. So when Cyborg has that flash moment where he's like seeing the future, the scenes that we see are like, you know, Diana's like the Amazons being beaten because Diana's dead. The Aquaman getting killed, and then we see Superman over a burnt corpse with long hair and Darkseid there in the Batcave because you see a Robin suit in the background. I think Barry's in the background too. But at that moment, when Darkseid, you know, puts his hand on Clark's shoulder, is when he uses the anti-life equation on Clark, turning him into his minion. And then we get, you know, like Superman killing Killmonger and stuff like that, and all of those kind of things. Which, again, like that whole future timeline doesn't make a lot of sense until we actually see something from it. Which maybe something that like kind of funny brought up, which I do like. I can't remember if it was Greg or one of the other guys on the podcast, but he talked about at least seeing this universe through like an animated series of movies, so we can see where this universe ends at least. Instead of having to use the high budget to like finish off the Snyderverse with the budget of movies.
Would you want to ruin DC's record with great animated stuff with this?
That's the problem. You can't do this.
It's
Unless it's something separate.
how else? I mean, how else do you? I mean, also DC animated movies. I'm not gonna lie, that last like the 52 era stuff, I'm not a huge fan of. From Justice League War to Justice League Apocalypse War, there's a lot of hit and miss in there for me. Like I like the Death of Superman, Reign of the Superman movies, but like a lot of the Batman ones, I'm not a huge fan of. Like I hate the Hush movie that came out. That Hush movie sucks compared to like the Hush comic story, because like do you guys care about spoilers for the Hush animated movie? You haven't seen it, any of you? Like instead of Hush being Tommy, his old friend, it's the fucking Riddler with a scar question mark on his forehead, and it's dumb, and I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it.
Like that's, to me, that's definitely one of the more questionable thing. I probably like that would definitely, like, across the whole the New 52 animated stuff, that tops my list as like this was highly questionable.
Well, there's a second part right after we get that reveal that like right afterwards we
I
get
wasn't even meaning to do that.
The moment afterwards, because in the comic, when the reason why Batman and Catwoman split at the end of Hush is because Catwoman says hush, like hush as in like be quiet for a second, Batman. But the entire movie, multiple villains who have been working with Hush tell Batman to hush, and so Batman goes, "I'm paranoid about this. You know, are you in? Are you in on this?" And she's like, "No, Batman, like, relax, Bruce. Like, I'm on you. I'm with you right now," and stuff like that. Instead, in the animated one, we get Batman isn't able to, you know, isn't able to let go of like Riddler. Like he doesn't want Riddler to die, so he tries to save him, but he almost loses his life from it. So Catwoman saves him, and she's like, "I can't stay with you because like you can't. You always have to try to save everyone, even the ones who try to kill you," and that's why they split. And I'm like, the graphic novel is so much more impactful because it's Bruce's goddamn paranoia. That's the reason why that he loses Catwoman at that point, instead of his fucking, like, one of his greatest attributes as a hero. Like, what? So again, track record for the animated films is already a little blemished for me, so fuck it, let's throw the Snyderverse there.
No, let's fucking not, because not all of us are as harsh as you on it, so leave it the fuck alone.
You murder
Like,
I mean,
Like,
people are asking for the
fact-
Snyderverse revival. We got a
I want it.
Snyder Cut.
yeah,
I
well, they're
want it.
also asking for the David Ayer cut for Suicide Squad. Doesn't mean it's a good freaking idea.
I'd
I'ma
be down to
tell
see
you.
it.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see it.
Ah,
I
Ugh.
really want to see this now. But I got a weird. I can like completely separate everything and then just watch it for what it is.
Mhm.
And a lot of people get mad at me for that. Like, no, but this. I was like, yeah, but I know, but I could still just, give me some more
Enjoy
action.
a movie.
I can enjoy a movie. And funny enough, like I brought up the whole thing about a play. It really does feel like a play. And
Okay,
then even
Aquaman
with the
and
multiple,
Like, or however the fuck you say his name.
yeah. But think about all the like false endings. Like it reminded me of really just the flow of a damn play.
Like a badly written play to where the audience has applauded like several different times.
Yeah,
Like,
oh wait, there's more. Like, and then the curtains come down for the third time, and then you think they're gonna come out and like you all hear the dance music. They're gonna come out and like all start introduce the cast. And then all of a sudden it's the desert scene. Like the curtain goes out. Like, there's more. Let us
like,
go.
but no, like that. That's that. The take your mother's trident scene. Like
Oh,
that was
man.
the scene to where I'm just like, you could see this on stage. Like,
Yeah.
100%, you could see
Yeah.
this on stage.
I got.
That's where they bust in the song. Look, that's where they bust in the song. Like all of a sudden, people like the stage crew, it's like waving like I don't know material, and then they're all in the middle with the trident singing like yeah, like I just yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, all the way.
God damn you.
Lip shits. But
I love it.
I just, dude, I want to see it for the sake of I want to see how wild this gets. Like go there. You've already made Batman soft. That's fine. He's Catman. I kept making the reference that he's Catman. Like I was like, yeah, like just look at him, meow. Like I was waiting for him to do it. Like just the whole time. And I don't know if it was because his ears are so wide, like the ears
Yeah,
are
I
just
don't
so
like it.
wide. Yeah, I don't know what it was. And then like his mask was so thick on his face that it just kept making me think like it was like this isn't the real Batman. Like
he looked the best when he had his goggles on, and I was like, "This is
Yeah.
weird."
that's weird, right? Okay. And so me nitpicking at these weird things, I feel and then
No.
I keep going back to, do I enjoy this because I just like watching stuff, or do I like, did I want to see more because this was such an advancement from the original release?
Mhm.
But does that mean it's that much better? Like,
Yeah.
does that mean?
I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say for me, like, personally, I remember like watching through this on because I was up already. Like it was like 10-11 last Wednesday, and I was up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm already up. I don't work tomorrow.
Ooh.
I'm gonna watch this as soon as it's out. 12:01 rolls around. I start it. I'm like, you know what? I need water. I need a snack nearby, so I got some stuff real quick. Went over, watched it from like 12:05 to 4 something in the morning. As you do when you're that idiot like me. And so I remember being towards the tail end of the movie and genuinely being invested in the movie. Doesn't mean I don't have my complaints, obviously, but like I got to the end of it, and like the next 3 days were me figuring out what I felt about this movie. And it took hanging out with my friend who has Snyder's dick up his goddamn ass the entire time. Because like for some reason he believes that this movie is better than Endgame.
No.
I know.
Like even after seeing it, like
Yes. But I think he's just trying to stay on the in group of being like, yeah, no, this is the vocal group of the, DC fandom. Because he's a huge DC guy. To the point that he hates all the Marvel properties. And like, I have to argue with him being like, hey, I like both of them. And these are just arguably bad. Like, I want better from them. Like, I have to argue with him that Man of Steel is not a good Superman movie. Like, in the sense of being Superman. I like, me and Steven argue about it being good, like just a good movie. And I can agree to that point. Like, it's a decent movie, but it's not a good Superman movie. But he believes that it's a good Superman movie. He's like, oh, I like the fact that it's a, you know, take on if he was real life. But the problem is, like, you can't tell these stories as though this is the real world. Like, the man is a space alien who has superpowers. That is not this world. You can't Nolan trilogy Dark Knight all of DC. He's a
superhero solar panel. I mean, like, you can't.
He's a man from Kansas who
Literally.
happens to be the most powerful being on the planet. Like, that is the story you tell. Not,
With
I
the
don't
coolest
know.
dads on earth.
Which,
How do you
by
have
the way,
Kevin Costner and like
how do you mess up Pa Kent, by the way? Pa Kent being like, oh, I don't know. Maybe you should have let the kids on the bus die. Like,
Let the kid die. Let me die. Life isn't worth it.
And then they try to spin it so he's always been super like, oh yeah, you can be Superman, like, during this movie. Which, by the way, I do really like that scene where, you know, he gets the black suit and he flies. Like, that is, again, a fantastically shot scene because, again, Zack knows how to shoot the Superman flying scene. It is fucking stunning every time because the music swells and it's fantastic. You get the da-dun, da-dun, dun-dun. And that's the Superman theme is the second best Superman theme ever made. Like, arguably. I think, like, Zack's version of the Superman theme, I think, trumps the animated Superman theme. It doesn't beat John Williams because, like, John Williams' version is just, you know, the classic. Like, da 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 da. It's just too damn good. But, like, it's powerful as soon as it hits. And you're like, great, this is an awesome scene. Why does he go directly to Alfred instead of being like, he flies up, here's where his friends are, and then goes?
Yeah.
Like he can't hear everything going on. Like, why are we ignoring? Like, why are we ignoring all of his powers? Like,
Yeah, the
why?
fact that he gives Jimmy a watch with a frequency that he can hear from planets away. Like,
No,
That's what-
from galaxies away. He heard that watch from a different galaxy and got back to Earth, which again breaks physics because sound cannot travel that fast, but he got there faster than sound could travel to get him. Anyways,
Dude, like, why did we? How do you weaken and embolden Superman in the same movie? Like,
you know, in almost equal steps, really, when you think about it.
oh my god.
He's too buff. We got to nerf him real quick. All right,
You know-
he's nerfed. Let's buff
you
him
know,
again.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it's like, dude, it's
movie
like
nerd.
it's like the worst video game balancing ever.
Yeah.
Mid
It's
game.
happening live.
It's like, okay, guys, we fixed all these bugs, and he's still one-shotting everybody. Hang on, we need a new patch.
I don't want to.
The same match.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but I feel like I would make a better Superman story. Like, genuinely, because because there's just, it feels like there isn't care invested in these characters. And
I don't know. I don't think Superman wears that spicy of an outfit. I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm Superman. Mind you, my Clark Kent to Superman thing that I did on Instagram where, like, I slowly did the, like, I don't know if you guys saw it. It's pretty fucking awesome. Steven got to see it before I put it up there. And it was pretty damn good. Like, I did the Clark Kent reporter there, you know, just standing there, and then I look and do this, and then it's like down, and then it's opened, and like I'm just going because I got the nerd glass and all that, obviously, because you guys just, you know, thought a little bit ago. And it's a great shot. But again, I could do a great Superman shot. And I have the care about the comics that I could probably make a better goddamn Superman than whatever Snyder's put out. And, like, I don't want to, like, rip on Snyder too much because he has a very particular set of directing. And it works for his kind of movie. But I just don't want a DC universe that is that. Mind you, I do want to see this universe through because I'm a fucking sick puppy. And I'm just like, yes, give me more of this garbage into my veins so I can make fun of it. I want it. Come here, please, because I have Marvel to balance it out. until we get something good. Like the Batman looks like a genuinely good DC film.
Robert Pattinson, yay.
Robert Pattinson, get it right.
I
Robert.
can't believe people didn't think it was gonna work. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Have you watched
God.
any of his serious movies?
Seriously,
Like the dude, dude, he was freaking Batman in Cosmopolitan. Like, dude, like our Cosmopolis. What was it called? I think I said it right the first time, but he was Batman in that. Like,
Dude, I love the fact that that trailer for that movie has him saying "I'm vengeance." There's a line somewhere, and I was just like, "All right, I'm sold."
Also, him beating the shit out of that thug.
yes, I was like,
so
it was
Dude, and they even talk about that because it's like, yeah, his fighting, like it is towards like the more beginning of his career, and so his fighting style is, they call it like more feral. And I'm just like, I'm about it. Like, let's go. Like,
I'm game. Hurry. Just put this out already.
Hey, it was supposed to come out this year. It's coming out next year now, and I'm so sad.
Didn't they just tweet out a couple days ago that they finished shooting?
Oh, thank God.
Or I want to say they put out a tweet not too long ago that they finally, like, it was a box full of things, and of course, you know, I didn't get to dive too deep into it because it's too far away for me to want to, like, I just want it when it gets here, like, just
Maybe they'll release it early, like, November.
that'd be nice,
right? Give us a little treat. Because the other thing I got to say about this whole experience was that HBO Max is a very unique platform now because of it. It's not as good as Disney Plus, I'll say, because like, at least from a quality wise, Disney Plus's like stream quality is crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
HBO Max has some issues. Like the only time I ran into an issue with Disney Plus was like on the last episode of WandaVision, when like everyone clicked on at the same time and I was like up to watch it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to sleep and wake up in the morning. And I did that and it was fine. But like with this one, like it's just, there are certain points where I don't think putting in 4x3 worked because of the streaming quality of HBO. And just HBO's never been good at their streaming quality for some reason.
I made it a joke. I said this as a joke to my family, but I genuinely feel like that they formatted it as a 4x3 so you could watch it on your cell phone landscape mode. You're sitting there like, ooh, wow, this is nice.
even though you just held it in portrait.
They're trying to be
portrait, yes,
they're trying to be Quibi since it's gone.
Yeah, like go ahead.
No, my wife didn't realize it until I said it. Like honestly, she didn't and I kept forgetting. But then once I realized what I was looking at, it took me out of it. It's like, damn it, there's these big black curtains.
There's a difference between the top and the bottom and the sides. Like, just doesn't work.
It's weird.
Just brought me back to the old like tube weird. TVs.
I've got a couple of rapid fire things on top of my mind, but we don't need to dig into it. The one that we can dig into though is Cyborg. There's moments where let's see, the way I have it written down here in my notes is we are experiencing a catastrophic failure of all systems, Cyborg make go room. Like, there's a couple of times when Batman's equipment stops working, and then Cyborg's like, I got it. All right, we're working. And then it works fine again. Additionally, other things that, like, just rapid firing this. I have, in my notes, it says, Desaad makes me sad because what's his purpose? Mercedes
Dude,
nuts.
he, like, the little projection of him looks like Dr. Doom who is melting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's literally, I was like, because I saw that and I was like kind of half paying attention to this one. I'm like, hang on, wait a minute. Why is Doom in this movie? Why is he on fire? Why is he melting?
Hey, at least we got Granny. We got Granny Goodness in it.
Is that who that chick was at the end?
That's supposed to be Granny Goodness?
Like Darkseid's woman who like trains a lot of them. Yeah, that's her.
She looked too thin to be
I did not get
Granny.
It's because it's a CGI thing. I don't think it's a real person. I think they had like a stand-in person like standing there, and then they CGI.
Well, yeah, but if it's CGI, then why not make her like look older and her hair longer? Of course, granted. Well, it's like honestly, because you can tell that it's definitely female. So I was thinking Barda.
No, that's Granny Goodness. Because it's
was that confirmed somewhere?
Yeah, because it's Darkseid and Granny Goodness, the right hands of Darkseid.
I mean, Barda before she turned used to be near that spot as well.
Near, but not that. Not Granny Goodness.
Yeah, keep in mind is how much of this is universally accurate. So
no, that's what it is. That's Granny Goodness. By uniform and stuff like that, and the fact that it is an old woman. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I kind of wish there was more into that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see anything about Granny Goodness. Other things too that I had though, rapid fire things going on, Mercedes nuts is one of the notes that I wrote down because there's a lot of Mercedes product placement in this movie. Let's see. I wrote down Blue Eyes White Steppen because he becomes because he freaking for some reason decides to have blue eyes in the climax of the fight.
Don't know what that was about.
Yeah, neither do I guess because he unlocked the Unity and it gave him more power, but it's not explained. And then additionally, the Steppenwolf armor. I sat there through half of the movie is this armor? Is it skin? And then we get to see him tribute to Darkseid, and we see that it's armor, and I lost my mind. I was like, "Holy shit! It's actually armor."
The armor's way better than the Whedon cut. I think the armor is really goddamn cool.
Yeah.
In this.
I would agree.
It's cool and it gives him more emotion and personality. But I'm also I can't wait for us to have armor that reacts to
He
our thoughts.
himself in the Snyder Cut has more emotion and personality.
Yeah.
Well, there's a real quick
Then a lot of the characters.
fun, true, fun little character that shows up though. Ryan, who is the Silas's little helper in the movie.
Yeah,
that's Ryan Choi.
Ryan Choi,
who is the second Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you,
Yeah.
Jim. I'm glad you know too. It was great. As soon
When
as he
I saw,
said,
like, Ryan Choi, I was like, oh,
uh-huh.
got it. Yeah.
As soon as he said Ryan Choi, I'm like, the Adam?
Yeah.
I went, that's the Adam, right? And I went quickly, Google search, yeah, that's the Adam. Nanotech? My brain's just rapid fire, that's the Adam, that's the Adam, that's the Adam, that's the Adam, that's the Adam. So, he would have shown up in the next one. He would have joined the table that, has 6 chairs, but room for more.
God, that scene, I know they're supposed to be all heartfelt, but I'm just really?
Also, how the fuck aren't people going to notice that Wayne Manor's been converted to the Justice League? Baron, you're ascending from this.
He's so happy that he has us to bounce it off of right now because he's like they get it. They understand.
I just I was it's just so much. And you know what's funny? The thing that got me the most, even though once again I enjoyed watching it, but when you looked at the plot hole, not plot holes, the issues with the continuity and story and tone and the randomness of the tone that felt like 4 different movies, it was something that anybody could have saw. We didn't need to be the league of nerddom that we are in order to catch a lot of the stuff we're talking about here. I think my kids who've only seen so much of Batman could have told you, is that really Batman?
No, it is not.
Yeah, no,
He's
that's
an
Catman,
imposter.
darling. That is the pause. The pause of justice. And it just, I don't, man. And the multiple random endings, I can get the Flash being a klutz. That whole him getting shot scene would have made way more sense if it was because he tripped himself.
Yeah.
Or he ran too fast and ran into a bullet. Or
he's trying
anything.
To, we see him try to stop as he sees it, and he's just because he's been keeping momentum for so long. He's like, I can't.
Anything to put blame completely on him and himself, not Super Sniper 5000 Triple X.
360 no scope, baby.
Yeah. Clip that. I'll never forget that because that's freaking hilarious. Because he instantly became the greatest parademon in all
Absolutely.
eternity.
You just need one moment on the internet, man, and you're famous forever. And that
that
is
was
that
that
Parademon's moment.
Oh my god!
Flip
clip it. Like, I need to see this edited now. Like, I need to see that moment. It's all that scene from the bar when everybody's cheering. Like, you just he did it. Or you got like
pog champs just
yeah.
go into that.
Or you got like Lawler
Pogs in the chat.
right? Or like you got Lawler from WWF. Like, watch out, watch out, watch out! And then you got
Oh my god!
he did it! He did it!
Oh my God, JR! JR, what the hell?
Did you see that shot?
God almighty!
Damn.
with the steel chair.
Oh my god!
He's going in for the RKO.
He's doing it! Oh my god! And
Oh
it just-
Jesus!
oh man! But one thing they did get right though is they got absolutely correct Batman's like extreme humanism. Like, the man saves all humans, but I'll be damned if you're not human and you're fighting against this.
Oh my
It is
God,
Murder
he is
City.
sick.
It is
Dude,
Murder City.
Mows down a horde of him before he even leaves the ship. It's like, bring it. And of course, here's the thing you have to wonder, right? Because the same question was posed to me by a friend of mine who was like opposed to the whole Batman doesn't kill thing. Because it's like, you know, in Arkham Knight, the Batmobile is basically a high key tank, right?
Mhm.
So the question has to be asked, why does he have that? Like, I don't kill people. And then he has a thing that literally blows up tanks. I don't kill people.
Dude, well, you can even keep it. Let's take it back a step. Does he go around like paying for people's cars?
It's true.
Like, once again, I'm starting to think Gotham's financial issues for the lower level
Derive
people.
from his antics. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, damn it, Batman.
It's funny how you
Because
doing?
Superhero insurance, man.
The Pixar family-friendly Incredibles movie actually touches on a point that a lot of other superhero movies should touch on. It's like, who's paying for this shit, man? These guys are breaking everything.
Like, the insurance would have covered it. Did you get the money back? No. It's just great. Which is great, by the way.
Well, it's funny. It's I can appreciate kind of. I'm gonna go off on a slight Marvel tangent again, but the very first episode of the Daredevil series on Netflix, talks like the actual criminal syndicate talks about. It's like, what are we worried about? Every time one of these new guys goes up, like our prices go up. Like, it's fine. Like, we're and I'm just like, I like that took me a minute. I was like, wow, yeah. I can see that, actually.
Violence.
Violence begets money. It's what the real theme of that is. Like,
Yeah, but
The
the
real
violence
bad
begets
guy's an
violence
insurance
increases the
agent.
money. So, all right, Steven, you got any other major notes?
Nope, I'm set.
Anyone
We
got
covered
anything
everything
else?
on.
my head hurts. I'm laughing too much.
Yeah, this went well.
Well, okay, Wonder Woman's bank scene had better fighting overall than everything in 84.
Yes.
Yeah.
That scene is better than 84 as a movie.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
even though we got the anime rapid punches for the bullet deflection, like that's really honestly my one big turnoff for that whole fight. And I'm just like,
Like, her knees are definitely cracking after that.
right? It's like you're looking at
I
this.
am gonna
and-
attempt to joke about it because, like, I'm afraid that this is gonna slip further down because I'm trying to keep it up. But like, this is also why I'm trying to wrap up the show because I'm afraid
Oh, don't.
as we continue that it's not gonna
Oh,
work. As wonderful of a
She-
clip as that would be.
She was duck walking.
yeah, then we have to delete it for TOS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just Steven quickly download the VOD and then delete after.
Do it. No.
All right then.
Do the roar.
So I guess is that all we're gonna cover on the movie then?
I believe so. I feel like we would just be redundant from this point forward.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
All right.
I'm spiritually broken.
Jim, you haven't said much. Do you have any wise words?
At least the Flash knew how to fight. I think in right? You remember like in the
gentleman,
Joss
he's
Whedon
like,
movie? He was
I'm a
like,
pacifist.
He don't say much, but when he does, it's quality.
The man hit a home run there.
yeah.
You know, he's fitting the cyborg thing. You know, the hoodie silent type.
You're
And then coming out
not a
with the,
monster, Jim. You can speak.
I like of
You know something about making
everybody's get
monsters.
up like I think closest to the movie award goes to Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, mine was pretty good Clark Kent originally.
Yeah, followed
let's say, your
followed
Wonder
closely
Woman's
by
pretty
Dev
close,
for his
too.
Wonder Woman.
It is the 84 outfit. I'm sorry. So, like, I couldn't find the Justice League one. Also, the Justice League one, I'm pretty sure has a. I noticed
Like-
this time because I bought this outfit before the Snyder Cut released. So I saw like the length of the skirt. It's kind of long, and then I like saw Wonder Woman's skirt. I'm
Thought
like,
it was a kill.
is it shorter in this movie than it was in 84? Did they?
I think so.
did,
Because I was wondering, I was like, there's a lot of like random upskirt moments or like they give them like they do power poses where you're like looking down at somebody with the camera, but then at the same time it's always low enough where you can see the bottom of her skirt and you're like, are they trying to throw angles on this woman?
So the question has to be asked:
Oh man.
is this a mashup of all the mediums? Are we getting a play? Are we getting anime with all the call outs and super explosive moves
And apparently
And-
partial nudity.
and partial nudity and bad angles? And
what isn't this art piece film? This would be at the Sundance Film Festival.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be the last day.
In the comparison section of take notes of what you do or do not. You decide.
Mhm.
What section worked for you? They all have each of the movie broken up.
Yeah, it's like a tutorial video. It was like, if you like this style, try this. If you
Walk
like
into
this
this
style,
room.
try that.
Go to that room. It's all different parts of the movie.
Oh man. All right.
Like a lecture that you only need 10 minutes of, but you got to stay for the whole thing.
It could have been an email.
Any conversation with Dev. God.
Oh, go fuck yourself, jackass. Speaking of ass, next week we are watching reviewing Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. So
if you want to hop in,
yeah, let us know. Any of you guys are welcome to join us for that.
everyone's
can't-
everyone here is free invite. Just if there's a movie you want to be on, just let us know. We'll make the graphics. You can cop on in.
But yeah, so we'll be back next week with Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2. We're not doing news this week because, again, this is a long episode, and we don't want to make it longer.
Man.
So, real quick, Baron, as a special guest to the Horror Channel, where can people find you, and what can they find you on?
I am a writer and contributor and communication person over at level1gaming.com. You can find me and all my articles there. But if you want to look for me and me alone, Baron J67 everywhere. No spaces, as it is on screen.
All right. And everyone already knows you guys, Jim, Jay, Steven. I mean, if you guys watch and or listen to the Horror Podcast, you guys know them.
Check out OG Captain Reed. Even though he wasn't here, he's still part of the screen. Check him out anyways.
Yeah, check out Reed. He's funny. And I mean,
He's the Batman.
he makes the Batman poster part of our poster really well. So, with that, thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next week.
He almost knocked the screen.
Yeah. So, Steven, I don't know what to do for the bit this week during this part. I don't know. Should we try the Wonder Woman theme?
Oh Lord.
Sure. Yeah.
Someone do the guitar. Someone do the guitar.
I'm gonna mute
Someone
them
do the
both.
guitar.
Just let me
Someone
know
do
when
the
they're
guitar.
done.
Someone do the guitar.
What was the guitar part again?
I thought it was a violin or an
Oh
intended.
yeah, that's what.
Like intentionally, like freaking just playing it badly.
Yeah,
Like-
they just
Like the
hold on
like
strings.
Robert Downey, Sherlock Holmes, just
yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like, except with like some guidance.